Just calling the meeting to order. It is 7 p.m. So overview of Zoom meeting, operations and procedures, rules for participation. If you are on Zoom joining us, please mute your microphone and wait to be recognized before you speak. So thank you. Okay, public forum. You have some folks here that would like to say something?
Yes.
Can you state your name, please?
Review agenda for.
Oh, I'm sorry, I jumped ahead. Hold on one sec, I jumped ahead, sorry. Review agenda for addition or removal or adjustment of any items.
I think I would like to add a grant authorization item for the highway safety improvement program.
You want to add that under consent?
I need to provide a little bit of background.
Okay.
4A.
What item would that be?
4A or
Yeah.
3A or?
Well, not under consent agenda.
Oh,
So,
you're running under consent.
so
Well,
maybe
no.
other,
Can we put it under the consent, can we put it under the consent agenda and you just give us the
Yeah.
information before we?
okay, sure.
Started?
Yeah.
Sorry about that, folks.
Do we have to add executive session at the end?
No, we've
It's already there?
Okay.
Yeah. Continuation of earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, thanks for reminding me, Michelle. Are we all set then?
Yes.
So public forum. Sorry, I was trying to get you folks up here. So if you want to come up and please state your name, one of you.
Good evening, everyone.
You can grab a chair or?
My name is Keith Schnell. I'm a resident of Bristol, and I have a brief statement to read about zoning enforcement. So I'm speaking to you this evening to express my concern about the evident lack of zoning enforcement in Bristol the past several years and the significant impact that this has had on my quality of life and those of my neighbors. As some people in this room may be aware, Masterson & Son Excavation, LLC, has been operating unpermitted construction laydown yard off of Lower Notch Road, which abuts my property. This has been going on for over 2 years, and the noise from the loading and unloading of heavy equipment, the loading and dumping of gravel, from excavation and from the backing and operation of heavy vehicles, which sometimes takes place from before dawn until after dusk, is audible in my home with the doors and windows closed. By the operator's own admission, over 30 heavy trucks a day, weighing sometimes over 20 tons each, are currently using Lower Notch Road, and he expects activity to potentially more than triple when he's using the yard at full capacity. This will damage the road, create additional noise, and create an additional hazard for pedestrians in what is a residential area. This use is not authorized in the RA5 zone for Bristol Unified Development Regulations without a conditional use permit. Despite being advised of the need for such a permit as early as 2019, Masterson & Son has only recently applied for one and has been operating unpermitted since then. The yard is entirely out of keeping with the pre-existing character of this residential area, with the desired character of RA5 as stated in the town plan, quote, that of rural countryside where residential development is compatible with and surrounded by agricultural uses, forest uses, and open space, unquote. Allowing the yard to operate without penalty encourages this and other businesses to abandon any pretense at obeying the law both now and in the future, and has the potential to harm the quality of life of many Bristol residents. I'd like to ask why the town zoning administrator, who has the authority to fine Masterson & Son, has not done so at any time in the past 2 years, and what the select board is going to do to ensure that he does his job in this and in future cases like this. I request that the select board take action to immediately halt operation of the yard and to retroactively cite and fine the operator for the violation. I further request that the select board investigate the failure of the Development Review Board to properly apply the zoning regulations in this instance. And lastly, I request, and I have a signed copy here, that a written copy of the statement be entered into the minutes. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a hard copy for anyone who would like to see it as well.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Keith, can I just ask a quick question? Have you talked to Chris, the zoning administrator,
Yes,
about
we're
this?
all at the zoning, or the Development Review Board meeting,
May 30th.
May 30th.
Okay.
And please, some of my neighbors have something else to say on the same subject.
Okay.
Please have a seat. Yes.
Okay, so my name is Thomas Fox. I also live on the Bristol Notch Road. I am one of a group of concerned citizens that live adjacent to and in proximity to Masterson's business yard on the Lower Notch Road. The yard has been operating for more than 2 years without a permit. I request that the Select Board immediately instruct the zoning administrator to halt operation of the yard and retroactively cite and fine the operator of the yard for this violation. Why has the zoning administration not already taken action and allowed the violation constituted by operating a business without a permit to persist? The current and past use of the yard is not consistent with the desired character of this RA5 district, as stated in the Town of Bristol Unified Development Plan. Call it the plan. The plan is intended to allow home-based businesses in 1- and 2-family dwellings. The yard exceeds this intent by a large margin. The yard operator has stated that up to 30 trucks weighing up to 25 tons each exit and enter the yard in one day. The yard operator has also stated that this number could increase up to 100 round trips in one day. Basic concerns of the citizens living in this area, myself included, are noise from the operation at the yard, noise from vehicles entering and exiting the yard, vibration in dwellings near to the road by vehicles from the yard driving past, safety of pedestrians and motorists on and near the road, and potential excess wear and damage to the Lower Notch Road caused by the heavy vehicles. Additionally, allowing the yard to operate without penalty encourages flagrant disregard for the plan by the yard operator and potentially others. The operation of this yard has a negative impact on the quality of life and legitimate business interests of all property owners on the Lower Notch Road and connecting roads. Please include a copy of this statement in tonight's Select Board meeting minutes. Thomas Fox. Who would like this?
I'll take that. Thank you, Thomas.
Thank you.
Any questions for Thomas before he goes?
You live across the road up on the hill.
Yeah, so I do not, my property is not adjacent to the yard. It's,
No, I think I've sanded your driveway and I was trying to get
okay,
familiar.
sure.
I'm just trying to place it in my mind.
all right, well, you started me now, so I'm going to.
Okay, go ahead.
But at the Development Review Board, I was considered a person with interest in this. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So is the DRB meeting that you guys attended about this
That was,
specifically, or not?
that was one of the subjects
One
at
of
the
the
DRB.
subject, okay,
Yes.
okay.
How, does anybody know how many acres this lot is total?
70.
I was gonna say, I know it's,
70.
70?
Masterson's?
Yeah.
So if it's commercial, it would require an Act 250 permit as well.
They have applied for that, but it's not completed.
Yes. Like that.
Hi, I'm
That's the
Beth.
hot seat.
Hi, I'm Beth Cruz. Thank you. Dear Bristol Select Board members, please submit these comments and facts to the minutes of June 12, 2020 Bristol Select Board minutes. The zoning administrator appears to have included a gravel hole or pit as a permitted use on the Masterson property on the Lower Notch Road. The property is located on an agricultural zone. This does not comply with the zoning regulations. Please check into this and please share your findings with me. The Masterson Development Properties vehicles are already too heavy for that road. I've already been to the select people about that. The Select Board, the Bristol Road Foreman, and the zoning administrator already know this fact. I live right beside the road, and my house is built into the hillside beside the road. My house literally shakes when large, heavy trucks go by. Plates that hang on the walls, sconces on the lights, and windows make noises when the trucks go by. When the roads are wet, the shaking is worse. It is not as much of a problem, it was not as much of a problem until Masterson Development Programs began transporting his vehicles on the road, and later began transporting logs, sometimes tandems. Josh said at the recent DRB meeting that at this time his trucks averaged 60 trips a day one way, equaling 120 both ways. He said that the worst case scenario could see 100 trips one way and 200 trips both ways. There aren't any shoulders on these roads. Please look into how this would adversely impact the quality and the maintenance of the roads, and please share your findings with me. In the past years, the number of houses have increased by about 30% due to the new construction, causing more pedestrians and entering and exiting traffic on this dirt and paved third-class road. Please look into how this would impact the safety to pedestrians on this road. There are not any shoulders, as I've said, and please share your findings with me. For at least 2 years, this company did not have the permits to transport their overweight vehicles. It was not until I inquired in 2022 to the town clerk that they obtained the proper permits. Please check to see if these and other heavy vehicles have the proper permits. I live almost a half mile away from the site and hear a large booming sound, which sounds like a large culvert being dropped on the ground throughout the day. I've been told that the sound is the tailgate of a large dump truck dropping. The sound may be magnified by the mountain and the fact that it is a wetland with many waters, having 8 vernal ponds on which the sounds travel faster over water. Please look into this and other business sounds that impact the people in this predominantly residential area, and share your findings with me. Respectfully, Beth Eckers. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Is this related to this?
Oh, no, it's not.
All right, mine is. Thank you.
No, absolutely.
Hi, I'm Helen Young. I live on Lower Notch Road. I want to reiterate the statements of my neighbors Keith Schnell, Tom Fox, and Beth Eckros, and object to the unpermitted use of the Masterson and Sons land as a business yard for all of the reasons they describe. I acknowledge that it's not the Select Board's responsibility to issue or deny a conditional use permit. That's the purview of the Developmental Review Board. But the activity of the zoning regulator is within the purview of the Select Board. I repeat Keith Schnell and Tom Fox's request that the zoning regulator be held accountable for the unpermitted use of Masterson's property, and ask that Masterson be fined a per diem fee for the unpermitted use of his land for the past 2 years. As stated by Keith Schnell, I think it's important for the Developmental Review Board and the zoning administrator to not set a precedent that it's permissible to build first and apply for a permit second in any case of development in Bristol. I end with the question, how are zoning regulations enforced in the town of Bristol? Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else on this topic? No? Okay. Dan?
Good evening. Bill Mount, most of you know me. We weren't on the agenda or anything, but, so I'm not sure quite how to proceed. Troop 543 has a lot of equipment. We have a very nice trailer, and we have a subterranean cavern in the American Legion Post 19 that is difficult to access equipment from. So we're on a search to try to find an alternative storage area for things like hiking equipment, tents, awnings, water bottles, cookers, things that we don't normally need access to, but may on a short notice. There is some sailing equipment with the life preservers, paddles for kayaks and canoes and things that don't need to be stacked in the trailer. And so the other day, I was talking with Eric, the road foreman, and the former dog pound area, the brown building that's at the town garage area, appears to be vacant. He says that there's not a lot of use for it currently, and I wanted to approach the select board about the possibility of hopefully an inexpensive rental or use of that building for scout storage. So if you would like to put that on the agenda for the next meeting or what have you, however you would like to proceed, I'd like to broach that topic. I'd also like to qualify this with this being purely an exploratory thing. It's not officially on the agenda for the committee. The committee is aware of it. At least John Christiana, the committee chair, is. But again, we're just looking for a way to free up and take some of the load out of the trailer. We don't need to take 4 patrols worth of equipment everywhere we go when we take the trailer somewhere. And there's actually a fire pit that's very big, cumbersome, and heavy that we're looking to try to find a place for as well. So in any case, that's what I wanted to speak about tonight, and just kind of figure out how you'd like to proceed so that I know how to follow up.
Thank you, Bill. Valerie, do you have a suggestion on how this should go forward?
Well, that's an interesting question. A couple different options. One would be to put it on as an agenda item at the next meeting. Another is to kind of circle back to the any adjustments section of this agenda and add it to this agenda, either now or under other business or some other location in the agenda.
We are at your service.
I think, Valerie, we could put it on the June 26th meeting, and I think the people who had spoken left us testimony and letters need an answer, but it's not on the agenda, and I think it needs to be flushed out more than just a comment under public forum tonight.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that way
I mean, we're
could-
gonna have to get some more information from other people as well.
Right.
DRB and
So putting it on an agenda sounds like.
And I knew the road was there, but I didn't know they were not using or now
So
using.
those are two different items. There's the scout request, and then there's the follow-up to the Knoxville.
Yeah, I think the next meeting would be good, June 26th. I think that sounds good, and it
both
gives
of
us
you guys.
opportunity to discuss with the road foreman, and then have Bill come back, and maybe Bill, at that time, you might have more information if your commission does want to explore that option.
Well, so my intent was to see if there was something out there available. There's a couple of other approaches that we're looking at as well. And so I wanted to have some idea of how to approach the troop committee. So I'm not necessarily going to them. They're aware that I'm exploring, but I'm not preparing a presentation until I have some more facts. So.
Okay. For your time for this would be another 2 weeks. Is that okay in terms of your time and looking for a place to store stuff?
Before the end of the year would be nice.
We can do that.
You can work it in.
Okay.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah. The wheels of progress turn slowly in the scout world as well. So.
Okay.
Have you been
All right,
in
great. Thanks, Bill.
Yeah.
So you've checked it out and you think it's suitable?
Yeah, we looked at it. It's a nice size. There's actually water there. I don't know if it's turned on or off. We don't need the water.
It's off.
Okay, then that's fine. We don't need the water. We don't need power. We just need a place that's out of the weather to store some equipment that's just in the walkway all the time.
If he needs light, he'll just put the fire pit in there and light it.
There you go.
No.
It's got a cement floor, right?
Wouldn't want to do that.
Well, I mean, so given that, maybe we don't need to come back to this. If Eric, he's in the audience right now, if he wants to speak to that, maybe we can give Bill an answer that he can go back to his committee with, if it is available and we think it might be a useful spot. I don't know, Eric, if you want to speak to that.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I did with it this winter is I put hay in it. I stored the leftover hay that I had for mulching in it this winter.
Okay.
But other than that, that's the only time it's been used since it's been decommissioned.
Okay.
So,
Are the cement dividers still in there?
yeah, everything is still in there. Still, as a dog pound, everything is still there.
Okay. I mean, I think
if they wanted to, they could actually lock up, put stuff in the kennels and actually lock them if they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd say if the town if the town isn't using that space, I would be okay to allow it for a secondary use. I don't know what other board members feel at this time.
Others?
My only concern would be, and I don't think it would be a problem because they could work around it, but when they're working in the yard, we wouldn't want them accessing the building.
And you're also gonna wanna have an insurance policy that covers their stuff.
We actually do.
Okay.
We actually do.
And I guess I want to know from whether we can be landlords, so to speak.
Well, I was thinking that myself.
So we need to do a little.
Not want to
research
say
on
no
that.
to the scouts, but what if another organization comes and said, hey, can we use that for storage? I think we need to, the Little League came to us and said, we'd like to put all of our ball equipment off season, or the youth soccer came into us. I just want to make sure we're covering our.
It sounds like we like the idea, Bill, but we need to do a little more research on our end.
That's fine with me. That's all I expected, was just approach the topic, and the next meeting, the 26th, is perfectly fine with me, or even a little longer, as I said earlier. So, again, it's just purely exploratory. If it works out, super. If it doesn't, we already don't have a place. So.
Come on, isn't your garage big enough?
No. If you look at it now, I've got Christmas tree signs right there, and so,
So,
Sea container right beside your garage,
yeah.
40-foot sea container, right?
No, thank you, no. In any case, all right, thank you, that's all I have.
thank you.
I appreciate it, I look forward to hearing from you.
And I think, commenting on, go ahead, Beth.
I was gonna say, may we also be under consideration for the next meeting?
That's what I was just gonna say.
Well, I think, I mean, we can tentatively put that, but we're gonna have to see what investigation
Right,
turns up, whether we're gonna have enough stuff by then.
right, we wanna make sure we
information by
have all we don't wanna call you back 15 times, so
Right.
we wanna make sure that we can get you the information that you're requesting.
Thank you for your.
then.
So-
Well, let's say
Thank you for
tentatively, yes.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
if that doesn't
Also,
work
just
out,
to be aware that the agenda is already filling up pretty quickly
For the 26th.
for the 26th.
So we can be in touch with you folks. I guess that's the best. Is that, how would we let them know if they're on that agenda?
If they left their contact information on the sign-in sheet, that would be helpful.
And we have their statements as well.
Right, their
Their
statement.
emails, their letter that they gave statements, or got
Okay.
emails on.
Thank you all very much for coming.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
I have one thing.
Sure,
I'll be quick, I think.
that's fine.
I'm Todd Warnock, and I'm the director of the Vermont Ground Fondo that's coming up on the 24th. And I just have I've already been approved and everything, so I have a change that I want to make, and I just want to be totally above board. We've been running in and out of the finish and start on Airport Road, and we've had a start-finish truss in the past. And there's traffic that we have to contend with on that road from, even though it's a Saturday, Mount Abe still has practices and events and stuff going on. So I want to run the start-finish out the east entrance, which is next to the pony or horse ring.
First ring.
Yep.
And run this, and Bruce, you're on my list to talk to. You should have got my email. So I want to run people out that entrance, right on Liberty, and then back onto the normal route, which would be down Main Street and out of town.
When's this event, Todd?
24th.
And the school still has stuff going on?
School shouldn't have.
They shouldn't have.
They're out of
anything.
school on the 20th.
We've been a week after graduation, 2 weeks out every year, and there's always
Something going on.
Plus-
Maybe someone's using the field,
plus
maybe
even-
it's not school, but.
plus even our participants. Some leave
Some are going in and
early, they're going against
Yeah.
the riders
Yeah,
leaving
I get
out.
that.
Plus the traffic comes up Stony Hill faster and we always have to control that traffic. So it's just like slower traffic, don't have to worry about cars.
Be safer, my guess is it would be safer out by Martin's than it would be right at the top of the
Right.
hill.
Everyone's going 30 at least by then and we can control
The-
that traffic.
That sidewalk or roadway belongs to Mount Abe, though, it doesn't belong to us. going out to Liberty.
Oh, you're
talking
about the town,
I'm talking about next to the pony.
Right, roadway, the driveway,
The
where
little
you go
driveway
in
near
for the
the right
3-day
of way.
stampede.
They're starting at the rec field.
Oh, okay, so you'd be going out of the rec field
Yeah.
instead.
Yeah, there's the-
Not the
Okay,
sidewalk.
I was thinking the sidewalk.
Yeah, as soon as you
Okay.
said that.
Yeah.
So
I thought you were leaving from Mount Haven.
That's okay.
I'd be interested to hear, Bruce, if you have any thoughts.
I don't have any issues with that.
You have an officer either at the top of Stony or at Liberty Corner anyway, correct?
We escort them out in the group when they, at the start of the race, as a group. So yes, there will be somebody there.
Okay.
I guess the other thing would be, so we have the horse rig is our property, but where you're coming out of is the rec club's property. You've talked to them about using that entrance.
You've got the
I have the grounds booked for 3 days. So
Yeah.
it's.
So he has permission to use it already.
Right,
The other
okay,
day
that's-
that the town actually owned that property.
Yeah, the town,
Yeah.
I think the town owns all the way up to the fence there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's-
Oh, okay.
Good.
Yeah,
so
yours coming out, yeah.
I just won't put any infrastructure that's on the town property, because there's maintenance scheduled on the Sunday for the pony,
Yeah.
for that area, so there won't be anything in the way.
But you won't be coming down there on Sunday anyway, will you, or will you?
No,
Just Saturday.
Just
yeah.
just Saturday.
All right.
Sounds good. It sounds like,
Yeah,
I
sounds
think
good.
you work it over with the chief and.
Yeah, we'll get in touch this week.
great. Good luck with your events.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks, Todd.
Yeah,
Thanks for just not assuming.
yeah, well, I learned last week the additional intricacies of the scheduling of that whole space and everything, so.
So anyone else for public forum, either online or in our audience? Okay, not hearing any, we'll move on. Department head roundtable. Let's see, Bruce, why don't we start with you?
Thank you. Just a friendly reminder, this weekend, Saturday, it's the Pocock Rocks Festival. So a portion of Main Street will be closed. In doing that, we lose parking spaces. And as we all know, parking is very limited here in Bristol. So those coming into town, please do not park blocking somebody's driveway. Do not park in front of a fire hydrant, and use the handicap if you have a placard. And be cognizant of the extra pedestrian traffic that will be in and around the downtown. That's all I have.
Thanks, Bruce.
Yep.
Let's see, Brett?
Good evening. How are you?
Good, thanks.
All right. I prepared report, hopefully to make this more efficient. So, well, just real quick. So to date, as of June 12th, the fire department has responded to 56 calls for service this calendar year. 5 of those being building fires, which is pretty significant, but motor vehicle crashes, 10 of those, which is about on par for the year so far. And many other different types of calls, but yeah, 56 calls for service to date. An update on your new pumper. So the town's new pumper, it was delivered to the fire department on June 7th, so last Wednesday, at which time the town paid the balance of this fire apparatus. The new pumper is not in service, as there are several items that need to be completed. Some are the responsibility of us, the fire department, and others are of the vendor, Lakes Region Fire Apparatus. Originally, the plan was to send the new pumper, the working group who designed the new pumper, to Lakes Region in New Hampshire, where they would work with the vendor to determine where all the brackets to mount tools to in all of the compartments. They would identify those places. This is all part of the contract, and get that done. But as you can imagine, due to the difficulty of coordinating several different schedules and finding a time that worked for all, it's just like impossible, especially this time of year. So we elected to have the pumper delivered to the fire department where we can, actually a larger group, we can look at the vehicle and actually all of the town's fire apparatus and equipment in a more holistic manner, if you will, to help determine what equipment we do want to place on this new pumper and which equipment does in fact require mounting brackets. This pumper, unlike our previous pumper that was retired, just has substantial storage. So we're really relooking at how we do our operations. Let's see. Lost my place. All right. So yeah, while the pumper is not yet in service, we're going to take this opportunity while it's here and sitting idle. We are going to have our communications equipment installed, which we needed to do anyway. That is our responsibility. So we have made arrangements to have our vendor down here on the 16th of this month. We're also responsible for the decals, the lettering, Bristol, our logo and such on the fire truck. So that will happen on June 29th. We do plan to showcase the town's new fire truck in this year's 4th of July parade. And then following the parade, we will send that truck back down to the Lakes region the week after the 4th, and at which time they will install the brackets. And then sometime in August, we're still trying to figure out a date, again, trying to coordinate schedules around our pumping apparatus driver operators. When they will provide, as part of the contract, the 8-hour required training for the operation of this new pumper. So, and when all that is done, we will place this vehicle in service. And what we also do, we're going to conduct what's called a push-in ceremony to officially place this vehicle in service. This is a fire service tradition. I have personally never been a part of one. I guess the term push-in comes from, back in the day when horses, they drew or towed the pumpers, and the horses couldn't back up. So they had to unhook the horses, and the firefighters had to push the equipment back into the fire station. So Eric Foran, our deputy chief, he's been just looking into, things we could do. We really want to celebrate this, this accomplishment, the town's investment. It's very significant. Never want to lose sight of that. The cost and all the work that went into it. So we want to make it really special and memorable. It's the end of June, represents the end of our recertification cycle as firefighters. So a couple of years ago, the state changed their cycle from the calendar year to the fiscal year. So from July 1st of 22 to June 30th of 23, all of your firefighters are required to meet all their requirements to keep their national certifications. So I'm proud to say, with the exception of a couple persons, because they're on a leave of absence from the fire department, we all met our annual requirements. Not that I would expect any less from your firefighters. So the repeater antenna project that you may or may not remember, we have touched upon a few times, the possibility of erecting a tower over at the fire station. It's currently on hold. We don't have any really direction at this time. Really relooking at the funding piece. If we were to do this as a funding stream, we thought might assist with this. Doesn't seem to be an option. So, and it also, unfortunately, the current lease agreement we are in at the radio tower here in Bristol, that's a 5-year lease, and you have to provide 18 months notice if you wanted to terminate that lease. So we are now past that time. I mean, sure, there's always a way to get out of something, but anyway, as far as the lease agreement is written, we are committed for another 5 years to that site. So I'll just leave you all with that. I don't have any updates for you on the Conex box training structure. I know one of the persons on the working group has connected with at least one of the property owners who is very much in support of this project. Got lots of facility projects going on over at the station. So if you notice the one-way drive, that project is nearly complete. There's just a couple of items that still need to be addressed. It's like some topsoil and seeding, and install a couple of posts metal posts at the entrance of the driveway, which we had previously on the other drive. But the drive has been well received by everyone. It's obviously working very well. And I, once again, would like to publicly thank Eric Coda, our Public Works Department head, and Peeker Heffernan, your select board member, for volunteering their time to do this work. And as I noted at the last meeting, that asphalt was all donated by Pikes Industries. So very pleased to be able to do this at very little cost. Tomorrow, the mezzanine railing. So the mezzanine, that's that platform that's raised in the garage, if you will, the apparatus bay, as we call them, over at the fire station. So Norton Fabrication will be on site to install the additional railing around the fire station mezzanine. So there's currently only a railing around approximately 1/3 of the mezzanine, which 7 years ago, that was an acceptable standard. But since then, that is no longer acceptable. And this is based on the inspections by the town's insurance provider. So what we're doing is we're installing 5-foot sections along the entire mezzanine, and every other section will be removable for training purposes. So we continue to utilize it for training. You know, we deploy ladders to it, and for maintenance purposes, because we have mechanical items up there that need to be serviced periodically. And yeah, that project, that's one of 3 items that were identified by the insurance company. The other 2 were addressed last year, one of those being the ladder, the ship's ladder that was installed to access that mezzanine, and the heat and water sensors that were placed around the facility, just to monitor, you know, if we had a boiler break or a cold snap in there, that we would be alerted to it, because we don't staff that building 24/7. This week, the fire department, we're going to take delivery of our new breathing air compressor. That's the compressor that fills those bottles firefighters wear on their backs. So on Thursday, June 15th, that will arrive. This new compressor, which is a planned capital equipment expense. Unfortunately, we're not able to use the compressor room that was designed originally to house such a compressor, because seems like everything else, in time, things get bigger and of course more expensive. But we won't be able to utilize that space anymore. So we're going to repurpose that as a storage closet, but we're actually going to place this new compressor on the mezzanine. So with that being said, a lot of work has to get done in a very short period of time. And like always, you know, people are stepping up to get it done voluntarily. So just before they even arrive Thursday, you know, we have to disconnect the power to the current compressor. I'm currently mudding, sanding, priming, and painting the air room, which needed to be done before we can install the new equipment. So that's where I'm heading as soon as I get done running my mouth. And we needed to secure a lift to access the apparatus-based ceiling, because we, the fire department, are responsible for running the high pressure hose and the wires across the width of the apparatus bay. So we're working with a local company who's going to provide us. We have to go pick it up on a hydraulic lift so we can get to that very high ceiling. So the plan is to do that on Saturday. And we also need an electrician to show up and get that thing wired sometime between Thursday afternoon and early next week, when this vendor will return to complete the installation. So very quick turnaround on all of these items. And the only other thing I had is I'd mentioned it in your draft agenda email correspondence. Just we can talk about the next meeting. As I said, I won't be there, about the fire station air horn. Don't know if I need permission, but wanted to ask anyway about blowing the fire station's air horn at noon on the 4th of July. And as I noted previously, I would like to establish a schedule of blowing it twice a year, noon on the 4th of July and noon on January 1st, to exercise it. Like any piece of mechanical equipment, it needs to be exercised periodically, and we do utilize that for the fire department's last alarm ceremonies. So that is all I have, pending any questions from you all.
Any questions? No? All right. Thank you, Brett.
You're welcome.
Just a quick question of the select board. Do members feel that any further discussion is needed about the air horn and exercising it as proposed?
No, other than letting the public know what's happening so they all don't flip out.
Right. Yeah. I think we're all in agreement that it's a good idea.
Yeah, fine with me.
It's better than midnight.
And I will, as I noted in my email, I will happily walk over and knock on the neighbors' doors and send out some public messaging to make people aware of this, so no one is startled. Hopefully not.
Front porch
Oh, they will
forum.
be.
Yeah. It'll be on Front Porch Forum, don't you worry, Brad. Great, thank you. All right, Jill.
Well, we're gonna talk to her in a minute anyway.
Yeah.
You guys want to save it for the budget part?
Yeah, let's do that.
We can do
Okay.
that. Yeah, we can do that for sure. Taylor?
I'm trying to figure out her picture.
I am too. Taylor, are you at a place where you can talk to us? Nope, she might be with a baby.
Could be.
I think the picture is a sweater over someone's head.
Sorry. Yeah.
Is that what it is?
That's what it looks like.
Oh, sorry.
There's
Yes.
Jill.
Hi. I was stuck in, I'm on Zoom on my phone. I'm going to switch when I present for the ARPA funds, but I was trying to figure out how to speak. It is a photo I took in college that I just never changed my profile picture on Zoom. But it is a photo of me with a sweater over my head.
Did you have any updates from the hub for us?
Nothing in particular other than the conversation we're going to have later about the ARPA funds. The hub we've been plugging along. We've been busy. It's been going well.
Taylor, just a quick question. Are you going to be at Summer Meals site?
Yes, we are.
Cool, great.
Yep.
All right, so help someone remind me, is Zach, are you our new employee at the rec department?
I am, yes.
Hi, do you want to give us an update on what's happening at the rec department? I don't see Meredith on tonight.
Yeah, so pretty much we're just plugging along on planning for summer activities. We got a couple of movies in the park. We got swim lessons going, community swim, all those exciting things.
Great. Well, thanks and welcome aboard.
Thanks.
Thanks. And Eric, last but not least.
Yeah, I'm good.
You're good?
I'm good.
Thank you, Eric.
You're welcome.
Update?
All right, moving right along. Public hearing, Water and Sewer District Annual Meeting. Review of operating budgets, capital budgets, and upcoming projects. Consider adjustments to the sewer use fee structure to deal with high-strength waste management and general issues. Jill, the floor is yours.
The flow is yours. The floor.
Oh, boy. So I think what I'll bring up first is, do you want the budget on the screen?
Jill, I made you a co-host so you can screen share.
Okay, please continue to direct me on how to not lose things because I am on a Mac. So I apologize in advance, but it's so much easier for me to use every day.
Sure.
All you need to do is just open it up. If it's a document in a web browser, open it up and then do your screen share, and you should just pick your screen of your web browser. That should be. Or a document if it's in Excel, whatever.
If Sai's there, have him do it.
Yeah.
Tech savvy like
You would
Baker.
love that. I feel like water's going to be easier, so I'm going to open water first.
Okay.
And there's me. Okay, so in here it says desktop, whiteboard, just desktop.
Desktop.
Okay, thank you, Ian. Like I
I
don't
think
want it.
let's find out. Oh, I see. All right, so and then highlight. Yeah, there we go.
Is that working?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you could full screen that to be able to get the whole thing if you want. Yeah, there we go.
Okay, awesome. Are you guys seeing yourselves on there too?
Nope.
No.
Okay, perfect. So I had a little chat. Okay, for water is not bad. Okay, this year we're still in the FY 2023 budget through June 30th, and the water read is being worked on this week. So we should have water bills, let's say by the end of next week. So we'll know what our revenue figure is, but if I look at the income budget around 338, and if I average the 262 of actual for 3 quarters, we should come in real close to that. So let's see, expenditure wise, that's with the bond and note payments expended. Okay, actual at 273. What we would like to do is get the iPad for the water read system. When Sharon and Anthony went to set this, we call it the handheld, which is this green and gray, biggish, old-fashioned, like a giant Palm Pilot, that we use for the water read. It's not working very well. And it was just invested in probably 7 years ago, but it's not working very well. And it's been recommended that we upgrade to basically like the little iPad thing. And what was the cost of that? Was it 3,800?
It was around, over 3,000, less than 4.
Yeah, I think it was 3,850, but I don't think we technically need board approval, but I also just, I know it's an expense. So I just kind of wanted to run it by you guys. Are you guys all right if we do that in this fiscal year, since there's plenty of room in the budget?
I think that would be fine. So the other one is your current piece of technology that you use, that's considered defunct now, not working?
It's certainly getting there. It's getting there, and it's making it so that when your internal department is trying to get the device ready for us to go out and do the read, it's taking them like days to prepare it because the way the equipment works, and when they're trying to pull the read back down, it's also taking days, which it should not. It should be minutes.
Okay.
So
with the new system, is it an actual iPad or is it a tablet? And the reason I ask is because I'm just thinking of compatibility with the town systems that they use, which are all Windows based. Just making sure that will be compatible.
I think they're calling it a tablet, and it has a name like Avatar or something. It's got this weird little name.
All right, so it's a proprietary thing. It's not like an iPad using an app. It's their own self-contained.
It's self-contained, and it's something that's linked up with census.
Okay.
The census meter reading equipment. So it's kind of part of that package, is my understanding.
When you use it, do you then connect the tablet to a device to upload, or is it all cloud-based now on this new system? Just thinking like future-proofing, like what's a system that hopefully will make it easier for you to do your job?
I'll have to read through. I missed the day that the presentation occurred. I had a schedule conflict that day, so I'll have to read through and double check with Liam. What we have now is Bluetooth. So it's we call it the gun, but the gray little reader that we like boop all the black things on the houses that are called touchpads, that through a Bluetooth connection communicates with the handheld. I imagine it's either wireless or Bluetooth.
Okay.
Through this tablet. It's right now, again, it's like a Bluetooth COM port, where this might be, maybe it's not a COM port because it's a tablet instead of this, antiquated-ish device. So
okay.
I'll double check and read up, and I could even have Liam just do like a 30-minute presentation to me so that I understand it, and make sure that Sharon and Anthony too are getting the training, just because it should be a lot quicker. It shouldn't be painstaking to get a water read and to get it to turn it into usable data that pulls over and can pull into a billing system. So, and I personally, my whole background is being a CFO, so I'm pretty meticulous about dollars and about billing. So it kind of drives me a bit nuts if the read is getting done and the billing numbers aren't moving over properly to bill properly. So.
Okay, that all sounds very positive.
Okay, so again, I don't think we need to have a vote or anything, but I didn't, it's like almost $4,000. So it kind of makes sense to just say, hey guys, is it all right if we go ahead and do this?
Would that be coming out of the supplies line?
Yeah, I mean, it could come out of, right here. Oop. Look at that, we have room. 35, and we've spent 14,894. So there's definitely room there. I mean, technically, it has to do with the meters, but it's also a supply. It's a
and that's only through 4:30. So
yeah,
that's through 4/30/23. But there's just 2 months left of expenses and we were only at 273 out of 338. So I feel pretty good about having space.
Jill, I would personally, I mean, I agree with this expense for now, but I'd like to see us look towards the future is, do cellular read. So no more walking to go up and clicking on everybody's door.
I would love that. I would love to switch
I don't know how
over to
many hours a
telemetry.
week from every quarter you guys have to do to read these. In Middleborough, they read it by cell and they can tell you within 24 hours, you got something leaking in your house because it's, it sends a read to you, back to you.
Yeah, we thought, I've been talking to Steve about this quite a bit too, is how to get the accuracy of the water reads and be more cognizant of when there's leaks at properties. So it's not awesome that 90 days later and then another 2 weeks after the read and the bill, somebody goes, oh my God, my water bill's thousands of dollars. I didn't know I had a leak. You know, it'd be super great to have an alarm pop up 24 hours after all of a sudden seeing that it's consistently running and us calling and saying, hey, your meter's running 24/7, something's up. Yeah.
To do that, that would be changing over the system that you have now completely?
So it would be continuing to update all of the old brass meters with the census meters with brains, and then adding remote read to each of those and having the remote read telemetry software. And the telemetry, I think there's some kind of antenna of some sort that grabs it all. So I don't know if I had
the price.
Yeah. If I had to guess, it's probably between like $500,000 and $750,000 to do.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
You know what?
It's pretty expensive.
Keep talking.
But again, if I know it's really good for us. If I know, and the justification I keep saying is like it's super good for our health and it lets us see like if there's water leaking on any property. It's good for us. Yeah. And it makes us really know the water district super duper well. Like every step of it. So yeah, so it is an expense, but if ever there was like a grant that came out that said it was for like upgrading meter systems, I think we should align ourselves with that. So, I mean, I feel, yeah.
That would have been nice.
Could have been half of the arguments.
Yeah, but that only helps a small percentage of the town.
Yeah.
So looking at you've got a 3% change in the rents. Is that an increase or is it just new users?
So we don't technically need a 3% increase in the rates. It was requested by one of the board members to try to continue to save. So to just increase the rates a modest 3-ish%, which it's literally 3%. You're seeing 3.1 because of these.
Yeah.
And to put it into here, which is the capital improvements reserve fund. So there's the thought that went with this, and that's why we're going over this one first, is that something you guys want to do? And what this board member's thought was that this could make it so if future funding that comes out for your project says, yeah, we have matching funds. What do you have to match the half that we have? That at least we'd have more in our reserve fund to match those grant funds.
Also, another reason to incrementally increase the rates now is so that when some of these capital expenses, the bond payments come down for that, it won't be as big of jump if we're kind of increasing it slowly and putting that money aside.
Yeah, so the future budget could have a capital improvements reserve fund come down, and then all of a sudden that bond and note payment that's currently budgeted at 70, all of a sudden that's at 120.
Right.
So it kind of makes room for future. It was just a thought. It doesn't happen to make the budget work. It's more of if you don't start saving now for your 1905 system in your 1995 pump house. That's
you can tell them, Jill, that was my thought, was to get a little into that capital reserve. 3% on my bill is $3 every quarter. That's $1 a month, my water bill. My bill's about $90 every quarter. 3% is just about $3. So, yeah, $2.70. I think that's, I know from some of the big users.
Yeah. I think inflation is between 4 and 8%, depending on who's reporting it to. So it is kind of looking towards what things are going to cost as we move into the future. But this is this is a proposal to see what you guys think.
I mean,
So can I ask about the contracted services?
Yeah.
I mean, we're over this year. You put it at 50. I mean, as most of that contracted services go to you guys because you're doing most of the work.
It does
right?
at the
It's
moment.
not contracted out.
It can be. I mean, if there's times when a particular task needs to be done by a paving company, or we needed to do some kind of like drilling a hole under the road or something like that, it would be contracted services with other vendors as well.
And that's different than the operating contract.
It is.
Right. No, I understand that. I was just trying to figure out. So if the operating contract is, what is it, 58 this year, or 71 this year, and 52, I don't know how much that 52 you guys got, but that makes your contract, or what we're paying you, over 100 grand. So I'm just trying to figure out, when do you decide you do it, and when do you decide, yes, the town highway, or are you contracted out?
So lately it's been doing different repairs, whether it's swapping out hydrants or fixing a leak or replacing a service or stuff of that sort. We used to work quite a bit with Kale and the town highway department because the town had kind of a bit more staff. And then the last year to 2 years, there's been that lack of staff and lack of ability to work kind of as a team on those. So we've just kind of taken the lead.
Mm-hmm.
But we can continue to see, like, as things are coming up, because we have sort of a plan of things that could happen over the next year to continue to take care of hydrants that need to be replaced and or blow-offs that need to be turned into hydrants, etc. Valves that get bent, curbs that get broken, etc. If Eric's got the time, we can always partner with the town. Or
I mean, I think the board would probably like you to do that. Check with him first before you go and just do it. Make sure he doesn't have, or if he has the capacity to do it. He'll tell you if he doesn't.
Yeah. I mean, we enjoyed working with the highway department in the past. It worked out really, actually super awesomely well. It's just if there's an opportunity, we'll keep talking to Eric about it, of what their schedule's looking like, and if they can basically spare a machine operator and a truck driver, because that's what we end up needing for most of these.
That's her hand.
And Jill, you, in a separate Excel file, you had provided some detail about the work proposed that makes up that $50,000 of contracted services.
Yep, things that we would plan in the next year.
Hydrants and valves, leak repairs.
Yep. Let me pull it up.
Meter replacements, unplanned emergencies, to name a few.
It's the capital.
Yeah, I saw that. I did see that. But when I looked at that, I think I was a little unclear whether that was this year or future. Yeah, see, I remember seeing this.
This would
So
be
this is stuff for this year or upcoming budget?
This is this coming.
Yeah,
this
would be for the fiscal year upcoming. So it would be one hydrant install, which would be at the end of Firehouse Drive. So what's there right now is just a flushing. And in order to, I think, meet certain requirements, it would need to turn into a hydrant for the particular building that's going up there. 2 valves around the pump house. Those ones did not close all the way. So those need to be replaced. 3 leak repairs. There's still 3 leaks from the leak detection that was done. We repaired 2 of the giant ones, which was at the high school and on Pump House Road. There's still one on South Street. There's one on Church, and there's one on the corner of Pleasant and Taylor. And then keeping 2 hydrants in stock. That's just keeping an actual back stock, because we have like 1 hydrant remaining right now. And then a valve replacement. That's for That's just one valve left because the other two are up here. They're already very specific ones that we know do not work. So there's just one left here.
But Jill, that list in a year, how much of that list, excluding equipment's gotta be charged out under the contracted line? How much of that could be under the contracted of the 22 hours for VTOMs of a week?
I don't believe that this work is covered under the contract ops, meaning that this is more of excavation.
I realize that, but it's, that's paying for the machine and stuff, but you're contracted to work 22 hours a week or a week with us on items.
Yep.
That's part of the contract, not contracted services, but the written contract. And how much of that could be fixed or a meter replaced under the written contract and not under contracted services?
So we do many of the meter replacements under contracted services. When they fit into kind of the 25 plus hours a week, we do just absorb them. So we probably do like 20 to 25 meter replacements a year. And try to absorb as much as we absolutely can. So, yeah, it's just, I don't know, we have our manpower and our hours that we're putting in each week. And there's times when it's 40, there's times when it's 60, there's times when it's 70 hours in a week. And there's other times when it's 20 hours that week, because the last couple have been 50 or 60 hours. It has a bit of an ebb and flow for all the things that have to do with just running the water system. I probably need to give you guys the report again that kind of shows you all the things that happen every week, because
That'd
you
be
don't
helpful.
necessarily see them.
Right.
Yeah, that'd be helpful, Jill.
Yeah, because there's quite a bit that goes on every single week to keep both the water and the sewer system going. And some of it is out in the field, some of it is at the pump houses. Lately, there's quite a bit of it that's actually in just getting all of the different projects moving, getting all the data together, working with the budgets, all of that fun stuff as well. So yeah, we can do that. We can send you guys, like, I know the first 2 years we did kind of like reports of all the different things and like some pictures just show you guys what's going on. Yeah, so that's just kind of that's a draft plan.
Yep.
These are ones that are like things that just need to be done, and these are things that could be done.
Good.
Yeah, so I guess I'm just wondering, what do you guys want to do with this budget, since it's kind of time to determine if you guys want to keep this bumped up or if you want to bump this back down? Because I put this times 1.03.
That reflects the 3%.
That's the number, which is this number right here, pulled over here, times 1.03. So that's just taking 3/4, dividing it by 3, and then timesing it by 4. And then this is 1.03. So that's with 3% added if you wanted to. And if you take it out of there, it comes out of here.
Yeah, no, I would leave it.
No, I think it's good.
Yeah, I'm a water district user, and I agree with Joel, as is he, that, as much as I don't want to see the water go up, I know that we're going to have to pay for it at some point, given what the piping is underneath the road for a great deal of the water system. We have to get ahead if we can, and raising the cost a little bit each year is the way to do it. We either don't do that, and then at a certain year it goes up a tremendous percentage.
Pay me now, pay me later.
Exactly. I think we need to do that now. And as Joel has stated many times, and other people have stated too, Bristol's water is, compared to other towns, is very inexpensive, and it's going to have to cost more because it costs more to run. and we have to do replacements, and we have to look to the future if we want to have it actually be a stable system in 10 or 20 or 50 years from now.
Yep. Yeah. Okay.
Joe, can I ask one? This is Steve. Can I ask you one question? Just for my own understanding, you've got some money, $57,000 set aside for proposed for the reserve fund. What's the reserve fund balance today? Does anybody know?
Is there a year-to-date number?
I think Val had an unaudited reserve fund, but I
That's the
don't
million-dollar
remember what
question,
it was.
Steve.
That is a really good question, and I'm sorry I wasn't prepared with an answer for it.
Well, I know you had said you were waiting for the audit to come up with the exact number.
Yep, and we're still waiting on that.
What was it then in 2021?
I had that in the capital reserve, the one that went into the budget, or that went into the town report, the one that you guys have us do for that was in there. It's like, where are you? Annual report is there. I wonder if it's just this way one. Hold on.
Is it the 125? Wait, 165?
I believe we dipped into it somewhat with the recent repairs, the mega repairs.
I think it was the pump house. I think it was your generator.
Right. So we had 2022 to 2023 total available is 188,215, and then our costs were minus 62,000. So our closing balance 2022-2023 is 125,781.
That sounds right.
Approximately, give or take a couple of cents. And then for the 2023-2024, we're starting at obviously 125. Our appropriation for that is 40,000. So that'll give us 165,000 available, and we have for the next number of years, we have an estimated cost of 20,000 in various repairs.
That is exactly what I saw earlier today, and I remember preparing that for the town report.
Yeah, so that is from the town report. So
Okay.
Steve, 125,781.
And then this hasn't been allocated, right? This year's budget, the 47,391 hasn't gone in, or is that after it goes in?
That probably hasn't gone in yet.
Okay.
I mean, doesn't Anthony do that at the end of the year, end of our fiscal year?
Well, that's now, very soon.
Yeah, well, I meant like the end of June.
So, the other question that I had.
It should say if it's been expended.
I don't think it
says 21.
Right.
So he might have put half in.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Or he utilized that line for something that should have gone in.
Something else, yeah.
Could we, for 2 weeks from today, Valerie, get Anthony here and get some real numbers? I mean, not saying Jill's numbers are, don't get me wrong, Jill, I don't mean that disrespect.
Oh, I only have numbers from the reports I've been given.
But we keep hearing, well, I haven't got this from the auditor now. I'm sick of the excuses. I want so I really like to know what we're dealing with here in numbers. And I propose a 3% increase, and I'll stick with my guns, because there's one year that the state may say, we think you still ought to do your engineering, and right now they're paying for it. They may say we're only going to pay 50% or 25%, and we can go into this capital reserve and grab some money. But we don't ever get a real true number from the auditors, and whether he's got to push that envelope with the auditors, so be it. But I'd like to know. I mean, it says there as of 4/30/23, we've spent 23,296 out of the capital reserve. Well, did that go into where did it go?
It wouldn't have been spent from the capital reserve. That line item is an allocation into the capital reserve.
Right.
Sorry, revenue.
Down below is the expense.
Right.
So Joel, given that, I agree with you. What numbers do you want to see so we can get specifics from Anthony?
I want to really a real handle on these reserve funds.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to ask the same question when we get to there's nothing left in the sewer one. We're running a deficit in the sewer. you guys aren't gonna have very good information from Jill here in a few minutes. I've got it today, and it's not good.
Right.
And-
Well, there's two, the reserve fund should be pretty straightforward. It's an in and an out, and it's got a separate fund, and we keep track of it. But it's what I think is less clear is the undesignated fund balance.
Right.
That was my question too, is like, if we don't spend $70,000 that we have in our budget, where does that go?
Right.
Poof.
And that's what we've been having trouble getting out of that's one of the things we've been having trouble getting out of the auditor.
That apparently goes in the Peaker's account.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, like you see, 2021 to 2022, the 341,712. And then that's 290. Where did it go?
Right.
Well, it goes into an undesignated fund balance. We just need to get what that number is so we
Right.
can figure out where we allocate it.
It's
Do we
45,000.
Exactly.
Yeah,
put it in the capital, the capital improvement line, or what? Keep it for a rainy day fund or what?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well, my thought is if Anthony can't get it for whatever reason, that we need to request it from them as the board.
It needs to be figured out, yeah.
Well, I mean, we're just behind a year. We're behind 2 years really, with the auditors. We got the details, and we had the same issues when we created this budget 6 months ago, is that we didn't have information for the previous year to even know, and so we were dealing with the year before that. And now it seems like we don't even have details for the previous year yet. So yeah, I agree, Jill. Jill, do you want to move on to sewer?
No, wait, just one quick question.
Oh, sorry.
Jill, on the maintenance, was it maintenance and septic tank? We're already over this year by a lot.
That's the next one.
That's in the next budget, right?
Oh, sorry.
That's in
We don't
septic.
want to put
No, I
that.
don't want to put
We
that
don't
in
want
here.
to put that in the
No,
water.
forget it.
Yeah.
I was looking at the wrong one.
Right. Okay. So hopefully this doesn't make everything disappear. I'm just going to try to bop
No,
this.
because you're sharing your whole screen.
Okay. So you
We
guys
need
see this little thing over here too. Good.
Motion to approve the budget?
Do we need a motion to approve the budget?
Yes, please. If you're ready to do that now. Yes.
So moved.
Second. Oh,
you're
Too
slow.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, budget passed.
Great.
Okay. Perfect. So I'll have to work with Anthony and Sharon to make sure they do the 3% budget increase after the June bills.
Correct.
Okay.
Whose phone is that?
Okay, on to sewer.
Okay, so now depress us.
Be in the wrong folder. No. Water. The date. Sewer. Right here. Really wants me to log in, and I'm really not going to. Okay. This is the one that I'm worried about. And so we just had the annual report done for the sewer, which is when Steve kind of looks at the flows that we have going through wastewater, and we're looking at them as well, which the crazy thing is I do the read, but I don't actually see the results of the read until the report gets done the year after. So I probably want to start seeing those, and that way I can keep building them and seeing how we're trending. Well,
When you say reads, are you talking about the quarterly sewer reads or some other kind of testing read?
So we do a sewer read every single month.
Every month, okay.
Yep, which is to go to the 34 locations and actually go whoop, and then write it down on a piece of paper. So we do that 8 times, and the other 4 times we go to all like 650, including everyone that's sewer, because the sewer is also the water on those same 34 users. Except the laundromat, they have different meters. They've got one for sewer and one for water. So this is what's odd, right? Is we look at the actual for 2022, for 2021, and we had 49,763. We look at the actual ending in 22, we had 52,768. So we budgeted 56,847. with the belief that the flows would increase and the usage would increase a bit, and they did not, and had quite a bit of maintenance to do between the septic tank getting pumped twice, the big repairs at the field, and the repairs to the splitter box. Part of what comes out of this is also those quarterly pumping of your exterior grease traps, which are $375 per exterior grease trap per quarter. And that's almost all like, right? That's your sewer hauling fees. that are
Okay,
here.
Joe, while you're on that, so the town pays for those grease trap cleanings, the people who have the grease traps do not?
So let me clarify it. The exterior grease traps that are on the system, by the way that your ordinance is written, are pumped by the sewer system at the expense of the sewer system. The interior grease traps that are at many buildings are not, because they're interior and they're before the sewer system, right? They're pre-treatment. Those are, by way of the ordinance and by request of letters that we've sent, supposed to be cleaned on a very regular basis to not allow the fats, oils, and greases to get into the sewer system.
So why would we have an exterior grease trap?
It must be was designed that way as part of the sewer system.
Bigger flows needing more than what they could
So
fit in.
why the heck would we have a policy that says this town pays?
I don't know
for it?
why we would pay for your grease trap to be pumped.
Out of that 21.
Right, because that just isn't fair to the rest of them that have to pay for their grease traps.
Out of that 21,000, $13,500 of it is grease trap pumping.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 9 are getting.
Yes, so it's just for you guys to understand, like, a bulk of the expenditure on your sewer system is this grease trap pumping, but it's also that grease is not supposed to get to this very rudimentary septic system.
But it is getting in there though.
It's totally
Right.
getting in there. We have a ton of fats, oils, and greases, which is contributing to our fog numbers. It's contributing to our BOD. It's contributing to TSS.
So how do we stop it?
I wrote a plan. Basically, first we write a balanced budget just because we have to, because it's that time of year. Then we start by doing tours of the interior grease traps to see what is actually there. Do they even have grease traps? They've claimed to, but I haven't set my eyes on every single one. Cyrus has seen more than I have, so he can at least, and we want to get a little bit of input from Steve because he's an engineer and I don't design grease traps. So I don't know if they're big enough. I don't know if they need to be cleaned weekly or monthly or quarterly based on the size that they are. Then when we're doing the pumping in July, we have him look at the exterior grease traps, because apparently if they weren't designed properly and they're actually septic tanks and not grease traps, they'll have the separator coming up from the bottom. That's for sewer. Sewer has the solid separate down like this, fat floats. So if they're not built with the separation at the top, like this, where it stops the fat and lets the liquid go under, then they're upside down and they're letting all the fat get into the sewer and they're keeping the solids, which those are not coming out of a drain.
So then can you force them to have to change that?
Yes, you can. So there's an entire division at the state that's enforcement for pretreatment. We wanted to try to do a little work on our own before we kind of call in everything, but it's kind of, we need to see interior, we need to see exterior, we need to see design. Then what we want to do is get a composite sampler and start taking, we'll let these owners know what we're up to. We want to start taking composite samples and seeing what they are discharging to our sewer system. And if those limits are, let's say somebody's discharging 1,000 BOD, 1,200 TSS, super high fog numbers, we cannot handle anything like that in this rudimentary septic system. We need to have a limit and say, you cannot discharge anything over 200 BOD to this sewer system. You must do pretreatment to that level and then hold them accountable.
Out of the 9 users, there's 4, which are almost all the 4 bigger users.
Yeah.
And I won't mention any names that don't have any grease traps.
There's actually 5 exterior.
One's got an
5
interior
outdoor.
one that shows its documentation. So, our thought was, we bill them at least half this year of all the pumpings, and we raise the rates across the board 5%, and then raise the 9 users get billed half of the 375 4 times a year, and then the other half next year.
Okay,
Or we
well,
could hit them all once. I'm
just thinking, if our policy says we have to, if we
Right,
have to
and change our policy.
clean and pay for that, does it actually say the town has to pay for that, or the town just has to clean it? I mean, to me, it's not fair that we're paying for that and that gets spread across everybody else who doesn't.
Seeing that it's done is our responsibility.
Right, but is it
Is
our
paying for
responsibility
it.
to pay for it? I mean, if that's what our policy says, then we need to change that.
There's one user on that list that you saw, Michelle, the 5th one, has an internal one, and he shows Jill his monthly pumping fee.
Well, these also, the 5 on here say outdoor grease traps, and there's 5 that have X's in them.
Yep.
So
But there's 4 that don't have any X's.
The others have, presumably, one definitely has an interior grease trap that's being cleaned regularly, and he's showing documentation, so he's in compliance with our current policy.
Yeah.
The others
He's
are not.
what he's supposed to be doing.
Well, we basically have to set some ground rules, and I feel like in order to set the ground rules, we need to collect some data to understand what's coming in. I already can tell you what's going out, and it's way above what we should be discharging to our leach field.
Yeah.
Because if we don't take care of it, the grease is going to take care of that septic
Yeah,
system.
then they'll be shut down.
And then all
Yeah.
31 of them or 35 of them are going to be out of it.
They're not gonna have any septic.
There's going to be a lot of porta potties out back of these buildings.
Well, and I've got to tell you, the other side to that is that your hydraulic capacity is like 20,000 gallons a day. You're only using like 8,000, but you're maxed out because your organics are too high. Your BOD and TSS is too high, and it's because you guys need those high strength waste users to have pretreatment. And unfortunately, the funding at the state for that right now is only for direct discharge facilities, and we are indirect.
So I think we talked about this at a previous meeting, but having folks come in, having some of the folks in that district that are those users to come in so that we can have a discussion with them and let them know where we are and what's happening and what we're thinking of moving forward with, so they have some insight.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know if it's a separate meeting, that would just deal with that, and we put out an invite to them and saying, we're having this meeting, and it's important that somebody from your organization comes.
I'd like to, Michelle, because you've got the somewhat of legal background, you in your office, is put your eyes on that contract, and does it say that we have to provide the service?
That's the policy.
That's
our
the
policy, or it says, no, you have to provide it and pay for it, part of your fees.
So looking at the list, we have 35 users, say, in that list that we have online. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 that are highlighted. Are there any others that need to be highlighted that are on there? Do we need to look at all of our sewer system users and evaluate all of them, just in case there are some that we're missing? Because I can see high numbers that aren't highlighted, but I don't know what that means.
Well,
Exactly.
what we might want to do is instead of just doing composite samples on kind of like the 9 that we believe are high strength waste and getting data points there, maybe we do a couple office or residentials just to get a data point on those too. It's like, are their BODs 20 or are they also like 500? They shouldn't be.
Right.
Yeah.
The 9 you're looking at, Ian, is the 9 that's got restaurant or serve food. Serve food or some combination of serving food, takeout or indoors.
That's
I was wondering what triggers. You have the column which is year, which has the highest numbers, right?
Mm-hmm. That's what the yearly flow is, and that's what. So this is not the actual sewer billing structure. This is just normalizing it as the average daily flow. And what the average daily flow would be if I take the current revenue and normalize that as a rate per gallon. So this was just a way to look at it mathematically. So there was a fair way to distribute it across each person and say, what does this do to a high gallon user that may or may not be high strength waste? And does this make sense Like, do you raise everybody's rate 30%? Do you say, hey, your high strength waste, you need a surcharge? Do you do a combination? I don't know how you guys want to attack it, but there's a shortage in the budget for right now. And I was looking at this last year in the budget, we had $5,500 that we supposedly put in the capital reserve fund, right? 55,660 in and 55,660 out. And then this year we have 7810 in capital reserve. So if I put those two on this year's budget, I think it gets us the shortage that we have. Is we aren't pulling in 56,847. We're going to pull in 47,418.
Do we know, is there money in the capital reserve fund?
I've never seen it.
Yeah, we don't know.
Because I thought you had said we use.
Well, that's why I'm saying, like, who puts this 5,500 in and where does it go? And who puts this 7810 in?
And that's another question too. We don't have a capital plan for the sewer system. We had begun to contract with RCAP Solutions, but the engineer that was assigned to our project just couldn't get to it, and it still hasn't gotten done. But it was on the list to have RCAP Solutions work with us to develop a capital plan and budget for the sewer system.
You know, I don't know, just my thought. I mean, I feel bad doing 30% across the board, especially for those people who are not the high-end users. You know, I feel more towards the surcharge, but it's like, can you just slap them with a surcharge without kind of saying it's coming?
Right.
You know?
You take that, that number 35,564, that's 3 reads. You take that divided by 3 and then times it by 4, you're still gonna be $9,000 short to get what we budgeted last year, 56,800.
That's what I'm saying, and I'm
Where
saying.
does that, and Jill's question to me was, where do we, this is a enterprise budget. We can't take it from somewhere else. Where do we?
No.
Does it come out of the capital reserve that if there is a capital reserve, if there's money in it?
Or if there's an
Here again, I can't get an answer.
undesignated fund balance, you mean?
Or an
we can take
undesignated
it
fund
from
balance.
the undesignated fund balance, but you can't do that until you know what's in there.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we really should have a balanced budget, so we need to figure out how to get this budget balance. And if that means a 30% increase, that's what we gotta do.
Yep.
It's just a matter of how we apply that, 30% or less of a percentage overall, and then a
But
surcharge to those
To me,
high-end users.
those small users down through their street there's one there, it's 8 gallons a day. He's got an office, and to hit him with 30%.
Well, that's what I'm
When
saying.
it doesn't cure the problem, and the big grease users are going,
Yay, this is a
"Help me-
deal.
Thanks for helping me pay my
Yeah.
30%.
Thank you for cleaning out my grease traps.
Yeah, and the problem is that in the end, it's going to destroy the leach field. So we have to do something, and we have to do it within, like, now that we know what's causing it, we have to, like, okay, it's time to do the inspections. Then we need to do some sampling, and so I need to carry, enough in sampling to be able to handle it. So I actually would need to take, in this new budget, I would need to take some of this, and maybe you guys could do that through the conversation, is do we start to take some of this capital reserve fund for this proposed budget and do the composite sampler and the sampling with the capital reserve fund for the year, because we know that we can't get data without doing so a composite sampler it's a device that you set in the manhole, and it takes an equal amount of the wastewater on a regular basis. So let's say it takes 50 mils every 15 minutes. And after 24 hours, you have a 24-hour composite of what was coming out of that sewer. It's a composite of BOD and TSS and FOG. And then instead of just doing a grab. So what if at that moment it was a nice clean gush of water versus usually BOD and TSS are either 8 or 24-hour composites.
Could you remind us what TSS and BOD stand for?
So BOD is biochemical oxygen demand, and then TSS is total suspended solids.
Thank you.
So those are both done in a laboratory. The BOD is basically, it's your organic stuff. It's your
But Jill,
organic matter.
Jill, there's not 39 manholes. You can't get like that one 8.9 user that just got an office space down there.
I know,
You
it's gonna
can't
be very interesting to try to get a composite from just one user. It's gonna be tricky because a lot of other systems, you have just an invert into the manhole from each business, for instance, and so you're collecting from the invert, which is like as the pipe is coming in. But those may actually be, yeah.
Couldn't get Cy or Logan to take the cap off each business and let it flow into a 5-gallon pail, I guess, and.
So the thing about the 5-gallon pail is what that is, that's a grab sample. So a grab
Yeah.
sample is gonna give you data, but it's not composite data.
No.
So it depends
I
on
was
that
kidding when I
moment.
said, I was
Well,
kidding when I said.
I'm serious though, because I'm trying to figure out how can I collect this? And have it be representative of what they're discharging to the system on a regular basis.
Yeah, right.
And I don't know, we could talk to other communities and see if somebody might lend us a composite sampler that we could use versus purchasing one. We're only 34 connections, we're not big, and composite samplers are thousands. And I don't know if maybe Vermont Rural Water has one that they might lend to us.
That's not a bad idea.
I can talk to the wastewater rider and see if they've got one.
That data would make a huge difference.
Yeah, and I think you guys are gonna want data moving forward too, not just an initial grab. You're gonna wanna see what changes you make and what impacts they have to those flows moving forward. So.
Right.
I think, the composite samplers, Jill, you've probably done more research than I have on that, but I was in the $4,000 to $5,000 range for a decent sampler. Is that kind of where you were at?
Anywhere from 2,500 to 5,000 is what I was seeing.
Right.
Yeah.
What was that number, Jill?
They're anywhere from like 2,500 to 5,000.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't help but want to just like ask the bigger wastewater facilities, like, have you thought of updating your composite sampler lately? Wouldn't you like to get rid of yours for cheap? What would
I mean, it's worth a try.
We'd be really good at recycling your old equipment.
Now, Jill, a while back, you had mentioned that the state is in the process of developing a model sewer ordinance.
Yes, it's awesome. So they're going to use some of their ARPA funds to develop a model sewer ordinance for use by any and all. So what it will do is actually finally have a way for us to use like some consistent modeling for high strength waste users.
You know when that'll be available?
It's supposed to be in the next 12 months.
Oh, I'm looking at the current sewer ordinance, and Article 7 deals with pre-treatment. And the first section in that Article 7 talks about town pumping of these private systems. It refers to the interior units as well as the exterior. It says that near the end of the paragraph, it says, let's see. With the cooperation of the owner, the town may, at its expense, install and or maintain such interceptor to the extent and manner determined by the commissioners. In the case of such maintenance by the town, the owner shall promptly notify the town if the removal of the captured material is required prior to any regularly scheduled removal by the town.
Like, oh, the grease trap is getting really bad, but they're not going to pop the cover and take a peeky.
No.
Like, nobody's.
That's the only reference that I could find in the ordinance about the town may at its expense. So apparently the town may have, or the system may have actually paid to install these things.
That's what I was kind of thinking, because they're outside.
But that doesn't mean we're responsible for paying to
it says may.
Clean them and pump them.
Right.
I think we need to stop that.
Well, I think I don't have a problem being responsible for pumping them. That way we're sure they're getting pumped.
Well, right.
But paying for them is the issue.
Right.
That's right. This is silent about who's paying for it.
And it's good to know that other municipalities most certainly do have high strength waste surcharges. Like, this is not something new. It's just something new to us. It's not new to the state of Vermont. It's not new to wastewater facilities. So if you actually had a large wastewater system and you all of a sudden had a large brewery come into town, they will kill your plant. Because they're coming in at like 100,000 BOD in their first washdown. And all of a sudden, your first process tank, every bug in it dies overnight, and you're septic, and it's black, and it's dead, and you're like, oh no. So this is where a lot of other facilities are a lot bigger than ours, and they have bigger problems, and they've created really nice solutions, but it's taken them years. They did lots of sampling to figure out what to make their numbers, and they worked with the state quite a bit and Vermont World Water to figure out how to regulate it.
Well, we need to figure out a way to charge them for pumping their grease traps.
Right.
Well,
And
I mean,
that'll soften some of the hurt.
yep. I mean, the raw, if you just build the raw cost to the literal connection to the grease trap that's being pumped, to me, that's a direct cost. It's a 1-to-1, like that grease trap's getting pumped. That's $375. It's your grease trap. That's your bill. That's just direct.
What do we have to do do we have to change the ordinance to do that?
I think you need
Valerie
to change
said
your
it doesn't.
fee structure. I think you need to change your fee structure, which I don't know is that separate or an attachment to your?
Yes,
ordinance?
that's an attachment. I believe we did that on purpose.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm skimming through the user fee section, Article 14, user charge system.
Yeah.
I'm skimming through
I
that.
don't think we went through sewer. I think we just did the water ordinance a couple years ago. I don't think we did the sewer one, did we?
I have a note that it might have been updated in 2017.
Okay, so yeah, years ago, 6 years ago. I don't know. What is your gut on how to spread it? Because I think I agree with you. If you just increase everybody 30%, it's putting some hurt on people that aren't causing the problem that costs the money.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's why I say, if I knew if we had some undesignated funds or some reserve funds, at the minimum, I'd like to see a 5% across the board with half the fee structure this year and the other half of that fee structure for grease trap pumping. So a full amount in 24 months, half of it this coming year.
To the top users.
To the top 9 users. So I don't want, I'm sympathetic to them, but I'm not in some extent, they don't want to play ball with us. Is that 375 is split in two, where the first year it's 200 and the next year it's 175. So year 2, they're paying the full bulk of the fee schedule, or it might be 200 because it might go up $25 to pump by the second year.
I think the other
And
thing.
everybody's paying 5% also.
I think Anthony or Valerie had shared with us that the debt retirement on the sewer system is going away soon too. What was the date on that one?
Couple more years, I think.
Okay. I mean, that will be helpful because the other thing that we could do is put in a grease trap prior to the septic tanks down at the field. A grease trap does not require water or power.
But then it's gonna be all our expense once we move it down there. Or the argument could be that it's all our expense, although we pump it, we pass the cost on.
Exactly. So I don't know. It was just a thought of like, if we just need to keep that fat out of the septic tank.
The issue there is it's not gonna pump any better out of that one tank than it does out of the 2 we already got there.
Well, I guess if it was designed properly, this is me speaking for Steve as the engineer who's kind of explained this to me. If it was designed properly, it might work better than the other ones, given that it would have the separator coming down from the top and stopping the grease instead of it maybe being upside down, as it may be in some of these designs that are upside down and not correct. But I don't have the hard evidence yet. Kind of need like a bunch of pictures. And yes, they smell like barf, just so you guys know.
Hey, that's where you put Vicks underneath the nose when you go in there.
Like a lot
Have
of
you ever
it.
tried that, Jill? That's an ambulance person's secret.
Awesome. Well, I think I'm gonna use your secret. I've got a nice tube of Vicks in my medicine chest.
Well,
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think we do need a plan of getting that information, you know, so we can move forward and figure that piece out. But for now, I think we need to figure out who we're gonna charge and how we're gonna charge it.
Yeah, I don't think that the regular users should be penalized for the heavy
Right.
users.
I just emailed the select board members and Jill and Steve the rate structure, the what do they call the schedule of rates and charges through 2019. I think that was the last time they were adjusted. It's not clear to me what the change was at that point, but it seems to me that would be a way to add something under the special fees and charges, a paragraph D, dealing with the expense, the capture of the expense for the
It feels to me like we need data. So we have this one report that Jill has done, but then the sampling, if we can do that, would be extremely helpful when we're talking to those property owners to say, this is, you know, this is what we know, and this is why we're going to make the change that we're going to make. I don't feel like we can just say, here's a user fee increase without that data. It doesn't feel, somebody else tell me I'm wrong, but that doesn't feel like the right way to go forward.
Well, I was just trying to get a balanced budget, that's all. I agree with some of that statement, but we do have the data that it's costing us $1,500, $15,500.
So how do we balance that?
I was willing to go 5% across the board increase of users with a $200 charge to all grease trap restaurants.
Per quarter?
Per quarter.
Per quarter. Well, does that get you to where you want to be?
It gets us, well, it gets us running to New Haven, but doesn't get us to New Haven if we were walking to New Haven tonight.
Yeah, so if I put this at one point, instead of 1.3, 1.05, that gets us to 49,789. Like, we need another 12. We need 12,000.
Well, then
if you put the user fees, you increase it at that, but then you add in the surcharges, I mean, I don't know how you would put that in there.
If I go 12,000 divided by 9, it's 1333, and if I divide it by 4, it's 333 a quarter for the HSWs, which is.
See, my $200 was about $5,000 short. I was $7,200. I'm asking though, I'm not asking for the whole pie tonight.
But the issue is there again, that's just the outside tanks.
Yep.
So
Right, because the main tank is also requiring additional attention and maintenance.
So this main septic tank is pumped once to twice a year, and it's 6,000 plus each time we do that.
If we knew what we had in an undesignated fund balance or capital reserve, it might make up that $5,000.
Yep.
And not hit the users, the grease trap users at $1,500 a year more.
Right.
Well, it's going to eventually.
It's going to be in 2 years, but not the first year. I'm gonna soften the blow a little bit. I agree with you.
Here's the. Oh gosh, that's tiny. Looking at it on the cell phone. Okay, minimum charge $173.28 a quarter for up to 100 gallons. Okay, so I need to work the minimum use charge into the equation. And $100 per quarter for every 100 gallons of flow per day greater than the first 100 gallons included in the minimum charge above, up to the users allocated. And then a usage surcharge, gallon usage in excess of the user's allocated ADF limit will be billed at twice the rate of the item B above. So your billing structure is really, it's pretty complicated in a way. On a 3-month basis, due payable within 30, delinquency charge. Okay, so your base charge is $173.28 a quarter. So that means that your like 9 gallon a day user is paying $173.28, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, $700 a year for 9 gallons a day. Yeah. The minimum charge is already allocating a pretty good amount to everybody that way. And then you've got the usage charge, but there's nothing to do with high strength waste in here. It all has to do with flow, which is hydraulic.
So maybe we then need to adjust this to put in the high whatever.
High strength.
High strength waste.
It's basically those that are contributing to your
It wasn't gonna be politically correct.
Yeah, that's how it's regarded in the wastewater industry, but it's basically organic loading. It's kind of like I guess the trendy way of calling it is organic loading versus hydraulic.
Just out of curiosity, do we know what Middlebury charges?
You know, we could get it. I definitely know the operator and I definitely know the town.
I mean, I'd like to see what they
I can
charge.
pull my sewer bills tomorrow and see what it is.
It's probably published too because they're public.
But you wouldn't be a high user. I mean,
No.
like some of the restaurants
I can
down
ask
there
Bob.
would
I
be
can
more
ask Bob.
interesting to see what that is. Yeah. I mean, I'd just like to see it comparable to where we're at.
Yeah, I
We're
just,
just such a small.
and I just don't think we can, the offices up overhead shouldn't be paying for the restaurants.
Right. No, I agree.
So I also think that we need to review the billing software, just as kind of an also is because last year we billed 56,847, same users. And when we compared the flow for the billing year, last year we had an average flow of 8362 per day. This year we had 7793. So we went down 6% in flows. The billings are based on flows, but we came down like almost 30% on revenue. Why? When our flows are only 6% lower. So I'm a bit concerned that there could be an issue with the billing software.
I mean, I agree with that, but I think the 6% in the flows is probably, those restaurants for clothes, you take Covers, for instance, and don't know what their flow is. They were only walk through, no sitting down because of COVID.
Yep.
And they're closed so those types are, just order up and order in.
No, but
now.
I mean, if there's something, I mean, even at 6% reduction, that's fine. There's gotta be something wrong with.
Right,
how it's being
30%,
calculated.
30% decrease.
Something still isn't sitting right with me in the fact that the flows only went down 6%, but the revenues went down 30.
Right.
Why?
Yeah, there's definitely something wrong with
If it's
that.
flow-based billing, we should have only gone down 6%.
Do we have an actual software that does the billing, or does poor Sharon have to calculate all that?
I don't know. So what I know is you guys have census, that is your meters and your meter reading equipment. And then there's this interface where the databases come together and the reads come over. And this is me on the water side of what I've observed in the last year of wondering why, again, the volumes don't seem right. So we did some digging. Sharon learned all kinds of really great stuff. So on the water side, I'm seeing improvements. Then it comes over into what you guys have called NEMRIC, which is your billing software.
Yeah.
I wonder if NEMRIC is messing up your formulas.
I'm sure it probably is.
Something doesn't seem right. Like this should only be 6% different.
Yeah.
Well, if it may not be, if it's $100 for that flow over a certain percentage. I mean, it could make that would make a big difference if they just did the minimum.
Yeah.
Well, that's true, that 100 gallons. Yep. If they didn't go over the 100 gallons, then you're right. Everybody's using so much less that you're just, that's 30% less. So then your rate per gallon has to go up because your gallons used is going down, but you still have fixed costs.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is being they were closed,
Yep.
they didn't exceed
Exceed the over 100.
Oh, yeah, they didn't exceed the over 100, or if they did, they didn't exceed it by, 200, so they didn't pay twice as much, so.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's because the naughty thing I didn't take that into factor, the way that the billing structure works. Okay.
Do we
still
have
should
to
check
approve this tonight, or can we wait for more information?
I don't know the rules. All I know is I don't know how to get you to your number that you want to get to without doing something. with the billing rate.
'Cause I
You're
would
muted,
like
Val.
to have it, I would like to have it be fair. I don't want to just go and
Right.
balance the budget for the sake of balancing the budget, saying
No.
we're gonna charge this one and that one and not know why we're doing it.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Exactly, yeah.
I believe it can wait till to the June 26th meeting unless you want to have a special meeting in between.
You already just said the June 26th meeting was getting pretty full.
Well, hopefully we'll have the information that we need to quickly approve it.
Well, I feel like the information that we need is we need to know if there is a sinking fund and a undesignated fund somewhere that can cover.
I said that earlier. Yeah.
Right.
And I think we need to ask this tomorrow of Anthony and the auditors and everybody.
Well, because you
Not-
asked that for water,
not
but you're
on
saying
the-
water and
I don't wanna
sewer.
ask it on the 23rd, Friday,
Right.
the 23rd of June. Oh, they need it for Monday night's meeting. We need
No,
to
we
ask
need
it
it now.
tomorrow.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you got a week to get this to me, so I can calculate it, get it out to the board, and hold some people's feet to the fire.
Speaking about, so go on, Joe.
At least then you know if there's wiggle room to get through this year with just a modest increase, and then figure out are the organic loadings, and how might you want to change your rate structure to start making it so that those that are using more organics are paying more, and those that are keeping their organics low and just using hydraulics are at that lower rate.
Well, that's gonna have to be a priority too. You know,
I think
sooner
that-
rather than later, because
But I
we
don't
don't
think we're
run
gonna-
into the same issue at the end of next
And we
year.
need to figure out how we can change it to bill for the grease trap pumping. That I think
That I think we need
that'll
before the 26th.
Huh?
That I think we need by the 26th.
Yeah.
But your stuff about the BOD and all that and the testing, I don't think we're gonna have in 2 weeks.
No.
I'll make a decision on.
No, that's gonna take a couple months of really getting the equipment, getting the bottles, doing the testing, and having some type of procedure so that it's consistent across the board, so that the numbers can be consistent, and finding where we can actually get the wastewater from each location. Yes,
Yeah.
and how to pay for it also.
So
Okay.
speaking to Joel's suggestion of charging a certain amount for that first year, I might go the direction of charging the full amount and just have a very good explanation of why you're doing that, why this is changing. Let people know a good amount of time beforehand. Because I feel that would just be, I know it's a big change. I know it's an extra $1,500 that you're paying each year, but I think the high strength users need to know that they are high strength users and they are crippling the system. And we need to be able to run the system and have it be future proofed. And what they're producing, they're way beyond what they're supposed to be doing. And I think, but explain that to them and then explain why that charge is there. I just think it's like a simpler, easier, more efficient way of just saying, these are the charges that you're going to have to accrue, and just being very upfront about all of that.
Agreed.
And and that there's increases coming based on your
Yes.
on your
BOD.
BOD. I would agree with that, because there again, if you use undesignated funds or capital funds to offset that, you're doing it on the backs of the people that aren't causing the problem.
Yeah, I mean, part of that information is if we don't do it, you aren't gonna have a septic system.
Yeah.
Right. And not that we're using that as a threat or anything like
Right,
that. Like,
no.
we want all of these businesses to continue being here, and we're just at a point, we're at this critical juncture of this system having some real issues. And unfortunately, these users are part of that complexity of the system, and we just need to sort of work with them and help them as much as we can, but also make sure our system isn't going to collapse.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes, onward.
onward.
To be continued.
Are you
Yes.
are you guys asking Anthony, Valerie, will you be working with them to just try to pull together those numbers?
Yes, and I emailed him tonight about the reserve fund balances for the water and the sewer. And I expect to be in the office tomorrow, and I expect he'll be in the office tomorrow. So hopefully we can put our heads together.
Yeah, and I think the other catchphrase is undesignated funds that we're curious about. Are there any of those?
Right.
It's
From, like,
unassigned,
past years.
not undesignated anymore,
like that,
unassigned.
Unassigned
I don't
funds.
like change.
Yeah, that's where the audit gets kind of murky, because Jill and I have been trying to sort that out for a while, and it's just not, it's not easy to dig through or identify the number with the information we have.
Well, the auditor should be able to tell us what that
You'd
is.
think.
They should be able to tell us if there's more money there than what there's supposed to be.
Right.
And that would be the unassigned funds.
Right. Right.
Okay.
We'll look into
So
it. We'll continue looking into it.
We'll put this off till next meeting.
The 26th.
Thank you, Jill.
Thanks,
You're
Jill.
welcome.
Thanks,
Sorry,
Jill.
it's tricky this time, guys.
All right, on to the consent agenda. That first item was the, do you want to talk about the grant that you mentioned?
Sure. There's a grant application due this week for the VTrans Highway Safety Improvement Program. It's up to $35,000 per municipality. No match is required, but it's extremely limited on what you can use the money for. And it's things like striping, road signage, and installing breakaway sign poles, and one other thing.
Guardrails?
No, not guardrails. I know. Eric and I sat in on an orientation webinar, and we both came away from it quite disappointed that the program is so narrowly defined and it doesn't. Anyway, I have not had a chance to connect with Eric yet about any potential projects for Bristol. He thought maybe some striping, but anyway, so the ask for tonight is allow me to work with Eric to come up with a proposal, and a letter of support from the select board would be required as part of the application material. So if you could, if you agree, then you would be expressing your support for the application, and I'll prepare the letter. And
So moved. I'd like to.
You can't, it's part of the consent.
Oh, that's true. What about striping, because we've always wanted to stripe the fog lines on Burpee Road and Moncton Bristol Road.
those will probably be eligible.
And we've never, because we get the free line up the middle, right, Eric? But we have to pay for the fog line, we get the free line up the middle from the state. I mean, those are a lot of cars on those roads. That may be a good spot to get that money.
And you can also calm traffic by making that a 9-foot travel lane instead of a 10.
Right.
I know that's what, it does make a difference, because you get into Heinsberg, they stripe theirs at 9. And
you think you're on off the edge,
it feels tighter, and it slows you down.
One consideration is if we add new lines to be striped, then the expectation may be that they be continued year after year after year, which is not something we're doing right now. So it would be funded through a grant this time around, but that won't necessarily be funded subsequent years.
Yeah, that
Just
the fog line seems to last a while. I know we've done it once or twice before. We put them down. I can't remember just where.
South Street.
But
so I'll make a motion to approve.
Eric's budget.
I guess we don't need a motion, it's under consent, but I guess.
Well, no, we do. I mean,
you write the letter.
No, you'd need a motion for consent. Right?
Yes.
So
right.
I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda. We need a second, and then we can discuss each one if we have questions.
Second.
Thank you.
Discussion.
I have one question on the technology reserve fund for the lister's office for a laptop. Didn't we just buy them?
We did one for the rec department and for Sharon's office and for Anthony.
No, I thought we had bought something for the listers. Did we not? Replaced the computer.
I think their office computer a year or so ago, or they.
Yeah, this is for a laptop.
I know a laptop out in the field would be wonderful. They could put almost all the information instead of putting it on a card and then bringing it back and handing the card to somebody and then put it in again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the going prices that we've been paying for the laptops is around $2,000, and there's about, I believe, $8,000 in the reserve fund.
Okay. I'd like to thank Stephen Taylor for his time on the Energy Committee. Appreciate that. I think the banner is fine. It's across Main Street. It's not at the usual location by the post office.
Right.
So I'm curious how Ted's going to do that, since it's a single cable going across, and usually on a banner you'd want to have two so it doesn't flap and wrap up. So
Cecil emailed me to say that Randy Sargent will be installing it.
Oh, good. Okay.
And that is that is a advertisement as well. It's for a sponsor.
For the 4th of July.
It's somebody who's sponsoring the 4th of July committee, making a donation, a sizable donation, I believe.
Oh, that's interesting. I thought it was just the usual 4th of July banner for the event, but it's a donation, or it's a business banner.
I believe so.
Let me see.
That's interesting.
Would you not want to approve it in that case?
Where are you seeing the one with Ted on the consent?
It's on the number 7.5.
What does it say there?
It just says approved banner application from 4th of July committee across Main Street for Independence Day events.
Yeah, I'm looking at the application.
I guess for that one, given what Peker said, I'd like to know more information about that.
No, it was 7.3. Or 7.4. I don't have 7.5 on mine.
This is between Covers and Bobcat.
That's in her town administrators.
Yeah. To hang the banner. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about.
Huh.
It just says Bristol 4th of July committee on the.
Yeah, it is.
Name of the organization. It doesn't say anything about anybody else on it. So.
You must have printed this off too soon.
This is draft. Yeah, it's the early one.
When did they want to do that?
Yeah, I think I'd want more information about that. That does sound interesting. I mean, it's the wires attached to two private buildings, but I guess it's the space of where it hangs. We haven't done it. I mean, we've approved other banners that are for particular things, but if it was solely for an advertiser,
I don't know that. I just know that they have.
Okay.
I know that it's maybe the banner's being paid for by a sponsor.
Oh, okay. All right. I mean, I would.
I know there's a sponsor, and I don't know what the sponsor has to do with it, whether they're paying for the banner or whether the name's on the banner as well.
Yeah. It doesn't.
I guess that part was unclear.
I see. I guess I would be fine, obviously, if the banner is advertising the 4th of July event and the sponsor's name is on it, that's fine. If it's purely just a sponsor banner, I'd have a little bit more.
No, I'm pretty sure it's the 4th of July events. There may be the sponsor's name on it somewhere, but I'm pretty sure, like the ones they've had in the past. Yeah.
Okay, as long as it's that, I think that's fine.
Right.
And I'm excited to actually see it be at that location, because I don't think we've had any banners there for a long, long time. But everything else I'm fine. We have the curb cut, and we've got Eric's recommendations, laptop, that banner, Stephen Taylor resigning from the Energy Committee, and then we've got the minor adjustment. Val, what was the minor adjustment? Just some personnel changes.
Purchase plan.
Yeah, I added my name to the authorized purchaser per our purchase policy and cross-referenced the policy section verifying that.
Great. And then we have your grant application. So I'm all set with all 5 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those things.
6 with Valerie's grant.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so we have a motion and we have a second, is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? There we go.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to regular business. Consider the appointment of, I'm going to, hopefully I say her last name correct, Anna Daylor to the Planning Commission. Daylor?
I'll make a motion to approve Anna Daler for the Planning Commission.
I'll second it for the sake of discussion. What, have we interviewed her?
It looks
I'm
like,
right here.
is she here?
And do we
We're,
know? we
we're,
have-
we're about to.
Been hanging out all this time.
We
typically like to meet people before
Yeah.
we appoint them, so come on up.
We do have an
We
opening.
have an opening.
We thought we had an opening on the Bristol Energy Committee, then we planned somebody, we didn't.
No, nice to see you. I've been
Hi, Anna.
So why in the hell would you want this job?
Because I did it before for 3
Right.
years.
Oh, okay.
And I only stepped down because I had a kid and I was just too busy.
Oh, you were on the.
That was, yeah, I did it for 3 years from, I think, like May of 16 to March of 19.
So you just answered my question. I was gonna ask why you stepped away.
Yeah.
But you feel like you've got time and energy to do it now.
He's going to kindergarten. I got time.
Sometime.
I have more time.
So you think?
So I think, yeah. He's all good being with his dad, so.
Great.
But yeah, I'd just be excited to come back. I enjoyed the work the first time around, and I know there's a vacancy, and I know the town needs it, so. Happy to
And you
answer
know
any
everybody on the board, on the planning commission, so you can.
questions. Some people are still there, some people haven't taken over.
Okay.
Yeah, great.
Well, that's great. Thank you for wanting to come back to the
Right.
commission. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Absolutely.
Any other questions for Anna?
No, I think she knows the ropes and she's
Knows the
been there
ropes.
before. It's
There's no
training.
getting out of it now.
Yeah.
She knows what she's in for.
Things are a little different, you know.
Great.
How did you know there was an opening? Or just-
I actually kind of just poke around and look at the whole time. Yeah, and I've been considering this for a while too. Yeah.
There's so many boards haven't talked there. I mean, we did appoint somebody 2 weeks ago and then found out that it was already filled. Or
I saw
But
that.
then
Need
somebody
it.
stepped down.
and it's already stepped down.
Good, well, great.
Great.
Well, thank you.
Great, Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Anna.
All right. So item 2.
So we'll need a vote on that.
Sorry, yeah, let's vote. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Great. Thank you, Anna.
I'll be at the
Thank you, Anna.
Awesome,
Thank you.
All right, now we're moving on to item number 2.
You might as well move over, John's coming up.
Update from tree warden, John Spepston.
This is the hot seat here.
Yes, it is.
You waited so patiently for it.
I know, I got a lot of information about sewers.
Right?
More than you wanted.
Far more.
Shitty job.
I think I just flushed some grease down my drain.
Yeah, but that's your own personal septic.
I bet I don't have the reverse.
Yeah.
What she was
That's your,
talking
like I
about.
said, that's your personal.
Right. So what am I doing? I'm telling you about a couple of things here.
Well, there were three items. One is an update on the ad hoc tree committee and also the grant
Right.
project, to plant street trees and the survey that was done,
Right.
folks, and then also some tree removal issues.
Yeah, why don't we start with the tree removal? There's a bunch of, it's, walking the village this year, there's a lot of dead trees, and there's a lot of dead ash trees. I mean, for the size of the village, there's a lot. There's 5, and they're fairly decent-sized trees, and they're sort of challenging removals. They're not fully dead. If you look at them, some of them have like a branch that's alive, or they have a bunch of sprout growth, but they're effectively dead and have to be removed. And I think I sent that list. Did I send that to you, Valerie?
You did, yes.
I don't know if that's important to tell you where they all are, but they're sort of all over the place.
They're all in the village.
They're all in the village. So there's those need to be addressed at some point, probably fairly soon, because ash trees, when they die, they desiccate quickly, and they become challenging to remove. So I don't know what's left in the budget. I don't. If I can make an aside, I know that Brett Sargent just worked at the cemetery in Hardscrabble, and through the community, someone said that eliminated the tree budget, or that used up the
It's
tree
a
budget.
cemetery, that was a cemetery.
Yeah, that's what I sort of figured. That's a separate, right,
separate.
okay, that's great. And I think he did a great job there. I recommended the removal of all of the trees around the whole perimeter, and we talked about that. And then Jackie from Red Cedar freaked out, in a nice way, and I sort of reassessed them and we saved a bunch, which I thought was a good idea. I think it's a good idea, we'll see.
Well, I would like to see the front done just to get the clean up.
But there was a couple of the nicest
Yeah,
trees.
They were.
I know, for the
I
fence
looked at it
that's gonna
today, I
go
wonder
in.
how we can get the fence out of there.
I know, and
Is the fence gonna kill those trees eventually?
it probably won't. I mean, they've lived for as long as they have, like growing around the
Right.
fence, the fencing that's in and out. And I think you can just angle grind the whatever, you know, we've talked about that a little bit, setting the fence in a little bit. We can also I don't know when the fence is gonna be put up or.
Timeline.
Right.
Right, Peter.
No.
So anyways, I thought Brett did a really good job there and he was open to the change of plan there. There's, back to tree removals in the village, I think one of the most significant ones is that silver maple on Church Street that fell earlier this year.
I lost
This
this.
giant piece of that tree fell off.
$100 to take that.
Well, did somebody take that down? Or did
No.
they just take down the?
No,
Because I
they
thought I
just-
saw
they
somebody out
cleaned up
there.
the mess.
They
Oh,
removed
they
the
cleaned
piece
up the
that
mess?
fell.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, that must be
he's
why I
already
saw you guys
scheduled
there.
to Come in after July, take it down.
It's on the schedule?
Yeah.
Is Brett gonna do that
Yeah,
one?
it's $3,000.
Oh, that's good. That's good. And he's taking everything, I'm assuming, like everything goes, like wood. He's gonna leave the wood or?
Yeah, because he can't pick up the wood, we'll have to come get it with our loader
Okay.
and take care of the wood.
Yeah, I mean, it's a sad loss.
Oh, there's
It's
two
true.
there.
Yeah, there's two.
Taking them both or just one?
No, just one.
Just the one with the broken limb in it.
So one of the things is these wood ducks. Do you know that the wood ducks nest in those trees every
Oh, really?
year? Yeah, and I don't know who lives in
Flossman.
yeah, what's his name?
Frank
Yeah. And he monitors the wood ducks.
Oh, I didn't know.
They'll go up and then the babies fall out in the springtime and make it to the riverside. It's fascinating. So he didn't want those things removed until they cleared their nests. And I think they nest in both those trees. Anyways, it's certainly a crazy hazardous tree because that piece that fell out was absolutely massive. And then on Pleasant Street, there's a big poplar tree that's super ugly and has a big dead top, and that should go too. That's a big tree. I don't know if you know, this woman, Ann.
Yeah, I went over and met with her.
Did you? Is that on the list or?
It depends on, Brett hasn't got me a price on that one yet.
Okay.
So it's all gonna be depending on, I gotta save $3,000 out of my budget minimum for a notch roller.
Okay.
And possibly even more than that if Lathrop's can't get to it. So
Okay.
I'm limited on funds as far as
Right.
taking trees down.
Right, and that probably limited on funds for the ash trees too, I'm assuming, right? Those 4 or 5 dead ash trees?
Unfortunately.
Right.
So we have the fund.
The mysterious A. Johnson Fund.
Yeah.
The A. Johnson Fund,
A. Johnson
which we talk about.
Because we haven't, I don't think we've used any of that yet, have we?
Thought we said we were only gonna.
Only the interest.
Yeah.
We could look, see
what the
we could get a
interest
number
is
and
for,
see what the
yeah.
interest is.
Yeah, we've
Yeah,
talked about that before.
I don't think we've used any of that yet.
So that's that. It's kind of a, you know, there's a lot of trees that need to be removed. But at least Brett's getting to what I think are the most hazardous ones, which is that big silver maple and this poplar tree that's unpleasant, which is big and has a dead top. And what I'd like to do, and I've done this before as a donation to the town, is I do the work on the green, and the trees in the green need some gussying up. There's some dead wood in those trees. There's some elevation pruning. There's a bunch of stuff that I can do, and it's probably a day's worth of work, and I'll pay my employee who's going to be there, and I just do that for the
First of all, on
town.
behalf of the town, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you very
I like
much.
to do it. And it's not a huge amount of work, but there's just some hazardous stuff in there that I don't want someone to get conked on the head.
Did we
you know.
decide years ago when we started the ash, we had that big ash thing in the upstairs from the state? I know there were 3 or 4 over towards the corner of the park.
Yes.
Did we treat those or take them down?
No,
We're gonna let them go?
There's one that's in the corner near the playground, which is probably has the initial boar, the boar's in there now. It hasn't killed it, but there's some decline in that tree.
Yeah.
Eventually it'll be removed, but we can wait on that one. The one that we treat is the one that's closest, basically right across from Cumberland Farm, what's that?
Champlain Farms.
Champlain Farms. I say Cumberland Farm, that's fine.
That's okay. We know what you meant.
And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna prune the top out of that. It's not really looking good, but think I can make it look good. And so we don't have to remove that tree. That's my goal, is not to remove that tree. It's a big puffy green tree in the right place.
Mm-hmm.
Related to that, there's a maple tree that's declining, and I don't know if that was on the thing that I wrote. This woman, Callie, I forget her last name. Brent, whose aunt died.
Yes,
She'd like to she'd like to plant a white oak in this, basically the same spot as that sugar maple. So I'm going to remove that sugar maple, and then she's gonna have a small ceremony and a planting. And I've also arranged for dig safe and all that stuff for the green. So that's the tree removal stuff, and there's the email that I sent to Valerie about that. And I'll get to the town green at some point this summer. I don't know when.
Thanks.
Soonish.
Before the floor?
Before the floor, I probably should, huh?
I just.
Maybe. It's on my close radar, and I have a bunch of stuff, but since it's on the close radar, that might mean it happens soon. Did I forget anything?
No, it looked like you hit them all. That was on the list up there.
All right. Okay, on another issue is the tree planting committee. So we did get the grant, which do you know that we got this $5,000 grant, and there's a matching funds. Let me get to my notes here from Josh. And I don't know if you have that from Valerie, if that little list from Josh that he sent of what's going to happen, the timeline. So.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we got this grant to plant 30 trees. And we're now in the, what happened was, Josh created this Front Porch Forum survey that people in the village filled out, and I think there were 22 responses for that, as it says right there, where it says in timeline down there. And it's interesting, they're sort of all over the place where people responded. We have a list, he made a database of the people that responded. So, I mean, it's sort of self-explanatory, I guess, that if you can you scroll up a little bit, Valerie, to show the rest of that timeline? So we need to get vendors for the trees, but we're probably going to choose this guy named Chris Urban, who has a local nursery. But we just go through the formality of throwing out the bid.
Yeah.
Then we're gonna do this, select the planting site. That's gonna be me and Josh, most likely, with maybe some help from Chris. And we're gonna sort of choose what places need trees the most. My take is East Street needs trees as you come into the village.
East, a lot of those.
Right, thank you. Yeah, so that's just sort of this tree wasteland. Also Church Street, since it's losing that big silver maple, that road does not have a lot of trees. Anyways, we'll go through and sort of, we'll choose the right tree for the right place, and we'll try to fulfill the responses from Front Porch Forum. But I have a feeling what's going to happen is we won't, if we have 20 people on Pleasant Street, we're not going to give every one of those people a tree, because that would be silly. And we also want to keep in mind that we're trying to replace these ash trees with decent trees, not with things that, and the vendor for planting is probably going to be Chris. And then we can organize Dig Safe, and then he's going to plant the trees. Chris will go around probably with a helper and plant the trees. And I don't know, if you know what gator bags are, but they're these watering bags. And what the homeowner is supposed to do is keep those bags full. And if they don't use a gator bag, they're sort of charged with watering the tree. Most important thing, they need to water the tree. And what I'm going to do as tree warden is, once those things go up, I'm just going to be like buzzing around on my bike, making sure all the gators
water your tree.
Exactly. Be very polite. Be like, get with
PA
it.
system.
Right.
Have you watered your trees today?
Get my database, and I'll send out the group email. And then there's this idea that at some point I'm gonna train some of, like Eric's guys, or Eric or me, and we'll go around for proper pruning techniques of not necessarily trees, but sort of these bushes and stuff that hang over into the sidewalks.
Yeah.
Because there's been some complaints about stuff being in sidewalks and some of the pruning that's been done in the past. But
Pruning or lack thereof.
The pruning, there's been complaints about the pruning, but we always give the homeowner the option
Right.
to either have it
Take care
done
of yourself,
or
or
do it
we're gonna do
themselves.
it.
Actually, I think the pruning is good. I think there's just slight alterations that need to happen. But for the most part, they do a very good job. And they're not like, it's not like those lawnmowers that they put on the side of the road, you know,
Right.
when they do that.
Just clear cut things.
Yeah, so I think that's been good. And I'll be donating that to the town also, and just spend a couple hours with people at some point in the future when I have maybe 10 minutes of time, which I'm not sure I
You're
will.
gonna turn 10 minutes into 2 hours? That's pretty good.
Yeah. And Eric has that time.
If you figured out how to do that, let me know, because I could use it.
Magic.
And that donated time can be used toward our match for the grant program.
Great.
That'd be awesome.
Right. So I guess maybe the takeaway from this is to find out what that A. Johnson, like how much is available from that A. Johnson.
The last time I checked, a couple years ago, I believe, it was over $2,000 of interest earned then. And so it's obviously more now.
Not a whole ton more, given our interest rates.
That could be good for the ash removals. Right. I mean, the ash removals, when I did this a couple of years ago, when I put these estimated removal costs, each one of them is like $400 to $500. You know, they're not like that silver maple.
They're not huge.
Yeah, they're certainly not huge. They're just in weird places.
Are you, got to John's quote about the ashes aren't that big like that big maple, are you, like, if they're this small, are you saying to a guy like him or Brett, say, you get them on the ground, we'll block them up and load them in our trucks and take them away? So that saves us paying them to do that.
Yeah,
Well, Brett doesn't take away the wood anyway, he just.
I tell Brett to chip whatever he can chip, and whatever he can't chip, leaves there, and we go pick up.
Right. Right, which say, like, you know, leaving wood is always it's a money saver, leaving wood.
And normally, within a week, whatever wood gets left there, is usually somebody's picked it up and taken it anyways.
Right. Yeah.
I think
really quickly.
Usually, if it's on somebody's property, you say the homeowner's got.
Well, I do. If people come and ask me, I say, well, you need to ask the landowner first. And if they don't want it, then and they're okay with you taking it, then you can have it.
I actually might do
There's
that
a rake
with
to clean up after yourself. If you take it, you're raking the lawn.
Yeah.
Raking up all the stuff.
I might do that with the sugar maple that's on the green. So the sugar maple on the green is about this big, and the trunk is, I don't know, like 10 or 15 feet. And I might leave that wood and mine my resources of somebody coming and taking that, because it's going to be decent firewood, I think, coming out of there, and I don't want to just chuck it.
I'd like to donate a couple of blocks to a certain wood bowl makers and maybe make us some bowls.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, there's,
Down Park.
yeah.
There's one at the fire station bowl that was made by one of our firefighters.
Oh, neat.
The tree came from for the fire station. So
Yeah, I mean, if you
Beautiful
can
bowl.
find a bowl turner, that'd be cool.
It's unfortunate to lose one by the playground because it offers such nice shade over there.
Yeah, and we lost the big elm tree that was over there, the elm that died of Dutch elm disease. So
Well, it'll be
there's
a
becoming
replacement
more-
tree, it just won't be as quick.
Right.
Somebody
Somebody else's lifetime.
There was a
Yeah,
chat,
you look at
there was a
open to
comment
that
in the
possible.
chat about use of the A. Johnson funds and the suggestion that the funds not be used for tree removal, but that instead the funds be used for tree planting.
Well, we have a grant for the tree planting though.
There still is a match required with the grant. Yeah. So anyway, that was a suggestion in the chat.
We'll have to figure it out because
Right.
we need to remove the tree, those trees, so.
I mean, we can also see what it looks like after we get the 22 or 30 trees, whatever the final tally is in the ground this year. So hopefully by the end of this season, there's gonna be 30 new trees in the village.
That'd be great.
And I think there's been on and off commentary about, I see people removing trees, but I never see them being planted. So I think that might
Be a good
squelch
shot,
that
yeah.
a little bit. Yeah,
30 trees
that
would be a
could be
good
cool.
shot.
That was a huge success, I think, getting
Yeah,
that grant.
absolutely.
So,
Mhm. Job well done.
Yeah,
Thank you to
congratulations.
the committee.
When you you and Chris go to do the trees, just keep in mind the sidewalk tractor and the plow.
yeah, right, no,
That's all I have.
no, I think that's why me and Josh are gonna go, and it's gonna be the right tree for the right place, like
And
not.
East Street, where you wanna put them on East Street, where the catch basins are.
Yeah,
There's a drain line that connects
Okay.
each one of them in a straight line all the way down through there.
okay,
Just so
like
you
on
know.
the left side as you go out, that,
Yeah.
right, okay,
Yep, just so you know, when you do your spots,
Yeah.
that there is a black, culvert that connects each one of them catch basins,
okay,
all the way down through.
alright.
And the other topic was the status of the ad hoc committee that John and Josh have continued to meet along with some members of the former Emerald Ash Borer committee, and then maybe some additional people kind of met informally to discuss tree planting in the village and that kind of thing. And so a question is, right now it's kind of an ad hoc group. They're not formally appointed by the select board, and there's no real structure other than occasional meetings. So that's a question about if the select board wants to see something different happen with that group, or if that's okay for now.
It's okay for now for me.
I think it's
I mean,
okay.
they seem to be getting things done as an ad hoc committee. So I'd say let's leave them as an ad hoc committee.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like that idea too. Well, it's all Josh. He did this in Middlebury, so he's great. He's very, he's the man. He's sort of making it happen, and I'm along for the ride, sort of.
That's great. Well, thank you, Josh.
Well, we appreciate it, both of you.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Great.
Nice to see
Thank you,
30
John.
trees.
I know,
Yeah.
all right. Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
John.
Thank you, John.
All right. All right, moving on. Number 3, consider whether conditions can or should be placed on previous and upcoming ARPA funding allocations for completion of proposed activities.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I did have a chance to,
we had discussed that earlier, that
Right.
do we let the funds out all at once? Do we let them get stuff in place and then spend, and then disseminate the funds? I just think we ought to have a little bit of control.
I mean, the option is that they have to submit invoices to us every time they get a bill, and then we pay them the funds. I mean, that's how it works.
yeah, that's definitely an option. I talked with Katie Buckley at the VLCT. She's the ARPA specialist, and she said that every town is doing it differently. There's no one way to do it. There's no particular guidance that she could offer. The invoice method was one. Others have treated it like a grant. And yeah, you have to submit invoices and a grant agreement, and not so much an agreement, but like a letter or an understanding and some level of reporting, so that the recipients of the funds are asked to provide updates quarterly or whatever on the progress. What's not clear, and she did not have a real answer for this, is what if they don't deliver? What if they don't do what they said they were going to do, and somehow the funds got spent in some other way? There's really no way to capture that back that I'm aware of, or that she was aware of. But it's just trying to.
Well, if you release the funds and they do something else with them, there's no way to get them back. But if they change their mind and do something different, and you haven't released the funds,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So as I mentioned in my notes, we've already cut those initial checks. Those are out the door. But she said it's not too late to just follow up with a letter to those organizations and say, hey, we'd really appreciate it if you keep us informed on what you're doing, and just kind of ask for that kind of feedback from them. And then, of course, going forward, we can do it a little bit differently.
I like the idea of a report out of some kind, or to come back to the select board and let us know how successful, they were with their project, or what the outcome was, or, thinking of the childcare center, that'd be great to hear, what they were able to do. And
one would think that they would welcome that opportunity to share their success stories. So.
And it's also a great way for us to be able to tell the community,
exactly,
this is how that money was spent and this was the outcome.
Or prepare the report for our town report,
That'd be awesome.
Next year, this is what we spent the money, this is who got the money and what they've done with it.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I might recommend, so the money needs to be spent by 2026. So we could set a timeline. We could ask everyone who receives ARPA funds to do a 6-month report as their project moves along, as opposed to something where you're waiting a year and a half before something happens. It'd be nice to see movement on those things. And especially given that the money does need to be spent by that time. Well, I guess technically, because of the way we're distributing this, if we've paid someone, it's already been spent.
Correct.
But I would still set some sort of timeline. Like 6 months seems a fairly good time. The invoice method, that might be confusing. I'm thinking of the Masons doing their elevator. So they have a contractor come in. Are they going to ask that contractor to invoice, and then they send that invoice to the town? It seems like a lot more work on the town side to handle that kind of thing. And I was thinking of okay, so Core is going to be doing the farmer's market. Is the core director submitting this is $100 invoice because I bought a tent, or this is for the sound system or whatever? It seems like a ton of work coming to the town if you handle it that way.
Let's go back to the lodge with the elevator. I think, if they get an invoice or a project manager that's, there's only a few elevator companies that put those in. Here's their bid, and this is one we accepted. I think that's all we need to see, or Valerie needs to see, that says, yep, that's where it was spent on. Or when they pay it, we get a copy of the invoice that was paid, marked paid, not check number. And
I think for some of these, it would be hard for them to lay out.
I agree with the core one, is maybe a breakdown of where that money went, after it was spent. But let's say the third one down, the 200,000. What if, say, they don't get enough funding to build that building, and something happens in 18 months, it's almost 2026, and we get a report from them that, well, because we had to pay more in staff, we had to use it in salaries. Now, I didn't vote because I was late the other night, 2 weeks ago, but I'm not sure, that wasn't their proposal. I'm not saying they're gonna do that, don't get me wrong, but, if they came and said, we had to use it in salaries and we couldn't find land enough or get enough funding to build a building because skyrocketing material cost.
Well, that could be the same thing with Turning Point.
Right. Yeah, they just couldn't pull it together. So if we followed that up with a letter and said, this is our expectation, that you'll, and spell it out in a letter, even though the money's gone out the door, we could still say these are the requirements.
Who were allocated before to improve childcare for more slots, like the sprinkler system. That we're going to get more information on. So, but if that didn't happen, well, we didn't get enough, so we decided to put it in the salaries. Would this board have approved that 2 weeks ago?
No, because that wasn't the application.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
So how about a 6-month report with detail of how the project is progressing, and then how the money has been spent so far, with a detailed report on that? Is that possible? It seems like any of the money that's going out there, people would need to be producing a budget and seeing how that money is spent. And so we could ask for that, or ask that as to be a requirement.
Yeah, it's kind of awkward describing it as a requirement, because what's the consequence if they don't do it?
There is none.
We put in the town report that they got money and they didn't furnish us with any information.
There you go. Yeah, public shaming.
Therefore, we cannot provide you with a status.
Yeah.
Right.
That's about all we could do.
Right, but they've asked for money under the guise of a particular project. If that money is not spent for that project, I feel that there should be repercussions for that. We gave the money willingly to the project, and it was supported by the public for a particular thing. And so I do think they need to be a entity does need to be held accountable if that money goes on something that is not what they described that it was going to go on, regardless of their plans changing. If their plans change, they need to come to us and say, hey, guess what? My plans changed. We'd like to use this money for this, and perhaps we revisit that particular project. And I know that Porter is on tonight, who chaired that committee. I don't know if she has any thoughts on that particular subject. I don't mean to put you on the spot, Porter.
She stopped listening to us.
Sounds reasonable.
Sounds reasonable. You're not putting her on the spot. She's gonna do it big text.
Thank you, Porter.
There she is.
There she is.
Sorry.
Gamed her right into it.
No, I mean, I'm listening. I think it makes perfect sense. And, you know, we didn't go so far in our committee as to come up with the requirements of how you would give the money away or how you would track it. But I applaud you for looking into that. I think that's an excellent approach.
Do you need a motion on that decision, Val, or is that
No,
just
I don't think so. Consensus. So the consensus I believe I'm hearing is at a minimum requiring or requesting a report at least every 6 months on their successes and if there have been any changes in their plans. So is that it, or are we doing the kind of invoicing thing at all?
Well, I don't think we can do anything for the money other than what we've just talked about for the money that's already gone out.
Oh, yeah, that's gone out the door, but going forward.
Going forward.
I think for the nominal amounts, it's not a big deal, but when you get into the
50,000.
Yeah, when you get $50,000, you know, I think we ought to have some sort of plan as to, you know, either you've got something in the works and you need this money now to leverage it, and then we release it. I do get a little nervous about just giving somebody 50 grand and they put it in their coffers and we have no idea whether it was spent the way it was supposed to be spent or not.
Right. I gravitate towards some form of invoice system. It doesn't necessarily have to be for every nut and bolt and every little thing, but maybe an aggregation of these are the expenses we have coming up, or some sort of justification that gets submitted that we say, okay, that sounds good, and then we release the funds to cover those expenses. Maybe not necessarily on a reimbursement basis, because that puts a burden on the organizations to have that money ahead of time, or pay it up front and then get reimbursed. But as the suggestion was made about submitting a bid as the backup for the use of the funds, and even though if they haven't paid the contractor yet, we have their bid, and we go by that. So along those lines, I think would be reasonable.
Is that going to add a lot of work on the town side though because of that? Let's say it's Rescue Squad and they're pricing out their $95,000 for an ambulance, and it comes in all these different chunks. Are they coming to us and saying, well, here's the bid, and then we're going through and making sure that we need to pay all those things? I don't know. That just sounds like a lot of work on our end to pay all that.
I think it would still be one check, Ian. I'm not looking to make it a half a dozen checks.
Okay.
I'm just looking to have something in the pipeline before we release the money. You know, to know that you're actually committed to doing what you said you were going to do.
Most contractors will do like 25% or 50% at each. There's certain junctures that they require payment.
Yeah.
So, it could be it's a 2 check, or if you want to do it that way, or
if the project is rolling forward, if they start the project and the project is rolling forward, chances are it's going to continue. It's not like what I don't want to see is we release $100,000 and then the project gets totally changed, or the money gets used for something that
totally
something that the committee didn't even envision as a use for the money.
Yes, and that's why we have that report. And I still think we can not we're necessarily tracking bids or invoices for the money that's been released so far, because it's about 400 and something thousand. But I do think those organizations have a responsibility to the town to report on what they're doing, and that's why I think with the rescue squad and with other organizations, I think we do need to get a good detailed report in 6 months to see where they're at with their projects. And we should be able to ask them directly, what's happening with the 95 that was budgeted for the ambulance? Where is that in process?
Right.
And then I think you're right, Peter. I think going forward, I think maybe to have, well, we'll see. There aren't a lot that fall under that, because a lot of them are under town responsibility anyway. So there's only a couple more, like the family center, that might be a large project, and they're currently getting information. So it's not a tremendous amount that we'd have to deal with thinking about it, just in terms of the other requests that have come in, or the other things on the list.
And if you look at the check warrants with each select board meeting, we deal with all kinds of invoices all the time. So it's just what's a few more.
Yeah, that's true. And it is only a few more too in terms of those projects.
I mean, like you say, the ambulance with the rescue squad, if they said, well, we put it out to bid for a Ford, Chevy, or Dodge who makes those ambulances, and here are the 3 quotes, and we decided to go with the Dodge, and then, okay, and they sign a letter of intent to buy the Dodge, and it's gonna be available in 6 months, because I was told they're not gonna get it even till January, maybe Christmas, then, okay, they've met their obligation that they've ordered their ambulance, and it's on its way with a letter of intent, and we're okay with not seeing the exact invoice, and they cut the check on December 28th, but we authorized the funds.
Yeah.
We already cut them a check.
Or you cut them a check
We
anyway,
already cut
so.
them a check, but that would be the documentation we would want to say, yes, they did use the money for what they said they were gonna use it for.
Yeah.
And I like the idea of something for the town report from each of them too.
Yeah.
I mean, because most people aren't gonna watch every single meeting to know what we've approved, so having it.
Wait, what?
Yeah. They watch it just for you, Ian. Not for us.
Ew.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You guys.
Item number 5, review and approval of the May.
Nope, there's another item 4.
Item 4, dang it, I keep jumping against
She's trying to get us out of here.
Sorry. Okay, where are we?
Taylor and Zach have been very
You were gonna
patiently
catch
waiting.
hell in a minute.
Taylor got on.
Sorry, Taylor. Consider approval of one or more of the ARPA funding allocation requests for the Bristol Recreation Department, up to $45,000 for a van, up to $140,000 for skate park renovations, and up to $4,000 for a new public address system. Go, Taylor.
Which one do you want me to address first? I have information about the skate park or the van.
Why don't we talk about the van?
Let's talk about the PA system.
I have no information about that.
Well, the PA system would be quick. I was gonna tell you, talk to Sean.
Right.
I have no information about the PA system. That's all Zach. So he can talk about that if you'd like.
Yeah, let's do the van first.
Let's start with the van.
So as you guys know, we've been discussing transportation. So transportation in Vermont is an issue, as we all know. And for our programming, we keep bumping into transportation limitations. We last summer we were able to borrow and rent a van from the Bristol, or not the Bristol, the Middlebury Family Child Center, but we're not able to do that anymore. And that even came with its own kind of limitations around like scheduling and like, oh, we could only take it on like Fridays or Tuesdays and like all these different things. So we and the van would be having access to transportation on a regular basis opens us up to a lot of opportunities around transportation for our camps, going on adventures with the hub, and then also starting new programming and offering it to the community. We're really excited about starting to offer more programming for those that are retired and maybe aging, different like town field trips to like Lake Monsters games, or like go to a local like lake somewhere, like Lake Dunmore for a town, and like all these different opportunities to expand the different kind of community building things we do. So we're asking for up to 45,000, actually noting what Porter said in the chat of if we require invoices, people may spend less. Our goal is not to spend 45,000, but looking around at vans, taking consideration like the cost of the van and potentially transportation of the van, 45,000 is the max that we would spend, like well above them, like probably 43,000 is really what we're looking at, or like 44, but like 45 is like, that way we're not like, so requesting 45,000 so we could purchase a 10 to 15 passenger van. And then we would own it. We've previously already budgeted a transportation line 2 years ago or last year into our budget, our annual fiscal budget, for $5,000, and that was with the intention of switching over to a maintenance line of a van when we eventually purchased it.
That $5,000 you said for maintenance, is that gonna cover maintenance, the liability insurance or insurance, gas and all that kind of stuff?
It should. So I sent over a document.
It's at the bottom of their letter. At the bottom of their letter, there's a graph that has how they're looking to spend it. So insurance, maintenance, gas, state registration, or state inspection and registration.
And so I think I read, you said who would be driving the van would be basically vetted, if I remember right.
Correct. Yeah, it would only be full-time staff members. And we would have, you have to have a code between,
When do you have to have a passenger endorsement?
I was gonna ask that. Is there any special requirements?
Well, you gotta have class 1 passenger, you gotta have it after 15.
After
So up to
15?
15.
Up to 15, you don't need a passenger, but you need a class 2,
She's
type 2. But this isn't school sponsored, so I don't know what that.
Yeah, in her notes, she says no special license is required for this van, and everyone on staff has experience driving large vans. We will all be insured to drive the van. All drivers must be employees of the town of Bristol. All drivers must have clean driving records. We will need a copy of the insurance and license. At the beginning of every trip, the driver will be responsible for, and there's a list of things.
So why would you need their copy of their insurance? I mean, I assume they're gonna be covered under the town policy, wouldn't they?
It's always just secondary with insurance.
I think
Like even at the school, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, just trying to cover due diligence. If that's not, if our insurance company says that's redundant and we don't need that, then that's fine. We won't provide that. But anytime we've borrowed a van from anyone else, it's always been, or like when I used to work a job, yeah, it's always been that you need to provide a proof of your own insurance as well.
When I used to drive for field trips for the school, they always asked for a copy of your driver's license and your insurance.
Yeah, because my insurance was on the hook. They weren't covering me.
Right.
You know, when I drove for the school.
Yeah,
In this
well,
case, it's
if
different.
that's gonna be a town van and town employees, it's the same thing as.
They're gonna have to go into the.
Same thing as a town truck.
Yeah.
I mean, the insurance is gonna cover the van, so you're
Right.
not gonna need any secondary insurance.
They are gonna have to go in the driver's pool for testing, for alcohol testing.
No,
You're the,
no, it's got a CDL.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't have the CDL, so they wouldn't be.
CDL is
required to do
the
that.
one, as far as I know, is the only time that you go in the
Yeah.
random pool.
Yeah.
okay.
If we need to do regular alcohol testing, that's fine also. I think we would all be able to pass, so it'd be fine.
So these are all used vans, correct?
Correct.
Okay,
We're not
so looking
at any new.
You wait, say that again?
We are not looking at new vans.
Okay, but
sorry, go.
I was gonna say some of these already have like 92,000 miles. And, just calling up, like looking at brand new vans, they're starting at 45, which is obviously more than what you're looking at, but then you get something that didn't have 90,000 miles on it.
So our big reason why we weren't looking at new vans is that most of the factories are not making new vans, and there's a year wait minimum at the moment.
Okay.
If your requirement is that we look at new vans, then we will do that. But that has been our reason. And when I spoke with like the Ford and Chevy dealerships quoting out for vans, they said they start at 65.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, I don't have a problem with the used van, given that you're probably not gonna be driving it
Every
a ton.
single day, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I'll also note that all the vans that are in the presentation, are now gone because of just the vans. So I was kind of like, all right, here are examples. We're looking at other ones. I have a few that I've identified that have 25,000 miles on them. Ideally, we would find them that would have like under 70,000. Would be preferable. Yeah.
I know at one point you were looking at bus company out of Middlebury. Help me with your name. Betcha. No.
Tri-Valley.
Tri-Valley. You guys were looking at, maybe one of theirs. Is that still in the cards?
We can't get in touch with the person that we were in touch with. They will not talk to us. We can't, no one will call us back. So yes, yeah, we'd be willing to, but it seems like it's in a weird ether of like, there doesn't seem to be a way to move forward anymore. And we're not sure why.
Well, they did change, they have new ownership, right, in the last year or so?
Well, Tri-Valley now is because they've merged with Randolph.
Right, so that might have something to do with it, but I could put you in touch with someone from there, or Mary Claire is what I was thinking of. But if you want to contact them.
Those vans normally, when they get rid of them, Taylor, have somewhere in the neighborhood of 200,000 on them.
Yeah.
Those ones you'll see down the Earthways parked outside ready to be crushed. They've got 200,000 on them.
Yeah, and so that's definitely a risk because we don't like, so while we don't want it to be a sudden large expenditure that the town wasn't expecting, so I know that's why we have the the funds that we've already set aside. We also don't want to buy something that's going to break really quickly.
What about some of the rental companies? A lot of times they'll sell off their older.
Sometimes those are beat on though. The college might be an option. They take good care of their vehicles.
Yeah, that's possible.
Enterprise does some like resale. There's a company that does and resells Enterprise vans out of California. We've been talking to.
So you're looking at an 8-passenger cube van like the plumbers have, but
10 to
seats in
15.
it. 10 to 15 versus type 2 school bus that's got the side door.
They're looking for something smaller.
Do you need to make sure it's handicap accessible?
We do not.
Okay, well, I know we've talked about a van for them. We've asked them to wait, we've asked them to rent, and they've done all of that. That's over the last couple of years since I've been here. They've come with a proposal a couple of times and they've done what's been asked of them.
They just won't give up.
I
We
know.
keep sending them
Really,
somewhere
Paul, we
else.
keep
and
telling
they
you we're
just
gonna
won't
come
give
back.
up.
It's like it's important to them or something.
I mean, my biggest concern is really cost for maintenance and liability. That's really my biggest concerns. When we start driving around kids.
Yeah.
It becomes a liability issue for us, so.
It's not unusual for rec departments to have a small van to do trips.
We're not, we will not be the first in Vermont by any means. Rutland.
Oh, no, I know that.
Yeah.
I was just saying, those are my concerns when I think about this.
Well, we had one before. We had one when Jim
Big
Jim
Heavy
was
World.
here.
Yeah, we shared ownership with
Big Heavy World.
Big Heavy World, and we used it. The rec department did use it.
Big Heavy World.
It was his other enterprise.
Jim's, yeah.
It was.
Taylor, how do you handle?
No, go ahead.
Taylor, how do you handle okay, we're gonna go 12 of us. You driver, you're going to go to the Lake Monsters game. Is that a permission slip signed by the parents, or what is that? Is there permission to give? Is there liability?
Of course there's a permission slip. Yeah, anytime we'd be driving anyone and the parents were not, of course. Anytime I'm taking anyone anywhere, there's a permission slip, and like our camps have permission slips of transportation. Even if we're going in a bus with a bus driver, we have transportation permission slip.
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
And they're talking about using it for adults too. It wouldn't just be for kids use.
No.
So you got to bring your permission slip, Joel, when you go on the tour.
Yeah, it would be required of you as well, Joel. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Any more thoughts on the van?
So does the select board want to act on each request independently or as a group totaled?
Well, I think she's only got two that she can talk to us about, so those are the two we probably can deal with.
Well, and Zach's going to talk about the PA system. He's been researching that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. That's why I said I can't talk about the PA system because Zach can.
Oh, okay.
It's not that it's secret.
Yeah.
So do we want her to tell us?
Well, we can do them one at a time. I mean,
Okay.
it isn't really gonna matter. I'll make the motion that we allow the rec club up to, or rec department up to $45,000 for the purchase of a van out of the ARPA funds.
Second.
Okay. Any other discussion? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. Anyone opposed? Great. All right. How about the skate park?
So as you guys know, the skate park got a lot of use and gets a lot of use still, which is really great. This was born out of the need for, so the asphalt on the skate park is in disrepair. We're going to have cracks fixed at like $7,000, but the person that was going to do it kind of ghosted us, and that was a couple years ago. And since then, we've kind of, and then ARPA committee has identified the skate park being a major point of interest, or rather, the community identified the skate park being a major point of interest and an area they would like to support. So with the priority being new asphalt, so making sure the asphalt is smooth, and putting an addition on that would prioritize beginners and young children that are learning how to navigate the skate park. So with that, we've then kind of, so taking that information, like, okay, so new asphalt, what does that mean? New space, what does that mean? We've kind of kind of built after that. If we have to put down new asphalt, we have to move everything off the skate park. If we have to move everything off the skate park, that involves either lifting it with a crane or taking it apart. Even if we lift with a crane, likely most of the structures will not survive because they're 15, 20 years old and kind of falling apart as it is. As they're on the ground. So we've landed on what we would like to do is we would like to put down new asphalt, work with someone. There are a couple people locally that are interested in partnering and helping us design a more cohesive skate park. I don't know how many of you are familiar with the history of the skate park, but in my research for this, I've become a little more familiar with it in that it was built in two sections. So there was the first section that was built closest to the hub, and then in like the early 2000s, and then the second section, which is closer to the road, was put down. I think I found like 2011 or so that was poured. And well, as soon as I heard that, it made sense to me because it does seem like there are two kind of thought patterns to the skate park, where there's one section that seems like a complete thought and one section that doesn't. It seems kind of like an afterthought, like there was never, it was never finished. There were never more structures put in. It's a lot of flat ground, which is really great in some ways, but it just the way it lays out and the physics behind the skate park, it makes some of the structures aren't able to be utilized in the way that you would like them to be. So we would like to remove everything from the asphalt, put down new asphalt, add a section, and then build a cohesive new skate park out of utilizing wood, like top grade wood and skate light, and have a new skate park.
It's too bad we didn't do this a couple months ago. I showed Meredith online a whole skate park over in New York that they were practically giving away.
I know. I'm aware. And Meredith and I looked at them. We're like, oh, that's so great. And then yep, I know.
Timing's everything.
Taylor, is this proposal been vetted by the rec club board?
Yes, they've approved. They've approved the, so I'm going to be adding on a 20 by length edition, and they approved that. Yeah, Porter can speak to it, but I felt as though they gave us their support, their complete support. Porter can also confirm that if I'm missing anything.
So have you gotten, Taylor, have you gotten quotes, and is there a plan somewhere like laid out? Other than what you just told us?
Yeah, so the only formal quote I have is the $37,000 for the asphalt. That is the resurfacing and the addition. The rest of the quotes, I haven't been able to get people to call me back. So I'm trying to, this was me talking to people that have some familiarity with building skate parks around what they think it would cost. And then me going down the, like, okay, like if we rebuild everything we have here and add some things on, here's what it's going to cost by in materials and estimating labor. So I haven't gotten people to give me formal quotes, because there's part also of it, like construction companies can't give quotes for skate parks because they don't necessarily know how to build skate ramps. So you need to have like a design made by someone who can build a skate park or a skate ramp and hand it to a construction company for them to give you the quote. So it's like a lot of steps that I'm trying to get like an estimation of money, and then kind of like build it out from there, because it's just a lot of homework.
I like the wiggle room number.
Yeah.
Wiggle room.
Taylor, in looking at what it's awesome. I was past there the other day on a Sunday, and it was full of kids over there playing. So it's definitely gets lots of use. My question to you is, did you look at other materials to use other than asphalt? And I mean, that's sort of the old school way of creating a skate park. Yeah. They tend to be more
concrete,
sort of poured in place at this point. And I know that budget's a lot bigger, but just wondering if you guys looked at, I mean, you're going to be right in the same place you are right now with wood structures and skate light and asphalt. You're going to be looking at the same kind of maintenance. So I'm just wondering if you considered other ways to go about this.
We absolutely have. Yeah. So I personally, as a lot of people can attest to this, Ian, I've had the conversation with Meredith and a lot of other people in the community. I've been bouncing back and forth between concrete and going forward with it, because if I talk to anyone in the skate park world, they say concrete's the way to go. That is absolutely, like, if you're going for a permanent low maintenance cost skate park, it's concrete. That's undeniable. But so some of the contributing factors led me to lean towards this plan was location. So while we hope to be at the rec club and like on the field forever, we're not totally sure how things are going to pan out and like where we're going to go and how things are move on. If we're going to like maybe one day want to be where the skate park is and move the skate park somewhere else, all those kinds of things. And so just putting a flat piece of concrete where the current park is would be around $100,000, maybe 100. It would basically be my entire request just for like flat, just because the amount of rebar in the block of concrete is quite a lot, around 3 times typically, and then to build out the park would be around probably 400,000. So, and that's kind of on a low estimate. So it is significantly higher in a pretty astronomical way. And I know I was like at different throughout the last couple of weeks, I've been like, well, what if we get 140,000? And that's really great because then we can use that for matching grants. Then I can apply for a grant and we can fundraise some of it, and we can get to 400,000 in 2 years. We can do it. I've been through it.
You went down the rabbit hole.
But I think, and then every time I start talking to different people, like with an outside view, they do start leading me to like, you don't know where you're going to be in 20 years. Like, you know, if this park has lasted 15, 20 years, keep an eye on that. Like we're looking for an improvement that's going to serve the community really well. And then maybe you're going to build a new structure in 15 years and then have a new a concrete skate park involved in that. But I know I've been really concerned because 140,000 feels like a ton of money to me. Like that's a lot of money, and that's it's more than my entire yearly budget. Like that's a big investment from the town. So I've absolutely been angsting over making sure that we were making a wise investment, but also recognizing that something has to happen to the skate park. It's nearing being unusable, and it is a huge asset to the community. So to answer your question, Darla, it's been deeply considered. And if you guys want me to do concrete and want me to get on that, I will throw myself into it. But there have been a lot of things weighing in.
No, I appreciate it. I just wanted to ask the question. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
I was just trying to, and we were talking concrete. Can you do a portion of it, like do the base in concrete? And then do the
Transitions get tricky.
Yeah.
When you're rolling.
And we'd still be looking at around 140,000 just for a flat concrete. And so we could do that, but then we're not even talking about the building or anything on top of it. So we'd still be looking at $200,000. And so the rec club Troy told me I could do concrete. If you guys want me to switch over to concrete, I can do it. It's just a lot more money.
There's a big concrete slab just north of you. Doesn't get used very often.
I know.
Border's saying no way.
Don't even. Okay.
It makes like something.
Any other questions? Do we have a motion?
I'll at least make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Any other discussion?
Yeah, I mean, we're allowing up to that amount, but we don't know anything of how much this would cost. So I wouldn't worry about the price. I think this is just the sort of beginning of this as we move forward.
I do also plan on applying for grants as well. I've identified a few that I think we would be oddly really well served for, because we do serve bikes in addition to skate parks, and there are a couple of grants that are focused on like bike parks, and so so just kind of funny niche things that we do fall into that are kind of hard to fall into for this process. So I am looking at grants. Unfortunately, no skate park grants will fund it because it's not concrete.
Yeah, but it's a highly used area from all different ages for all kinds of different events. So it's a very worthy investment to make. And the repairs that have been done over years and years only get you so far. The underlying sort of structures and base are just rotting away. And so even if you replace top surfaces on things and try to do minimal kind of less expensive repairs, there's just nothing for those things to attach to anymore. So part of that is sort of redesigning. And so, yeah, I think it's a very, very worthy investment. But as I said, it's, this is just the beginning of this process to find out. And hopefully, my hope is that perhaps the asphalt, even though it's $37,000, we might be able to get donations, things like that. Obviously, there was a very generous donation over at the fire station. Could the rec department get something like that, perhaps from a local company? So I think there's lots of avenues that we could explore.
Who made the motion?
I did.
Michelle.
Oh, thank you.
And I seconded.
Okay.
I'm just thinking of all this stuff. We get to the age I'm at, I get the skate park built. I'll be able to go over there on a skateboard, break my hip, use the new ambulance, get to the hospital.
We're just in town for you, Peaker.
That's right. This will be great.
Didn't want to be out, well, that was our goal, was to serve as many people as we could, so I'm
Right.
thinking.
Ride in the van.
He's
And
also
then,
gonna
yeah.
use the pump park.
Yeah.
Right. And then in your wheelchair, we can wheel you over to the farmer's market next year. It's going to be perfect.
Yeah, there you go.
I got a scooter you could use over there, Peter, if you want to try out that.
We can even get you to breakfast to the Masonic Lodge.
There we go. Man, this is great.
Circle.
Whole community. All right, shall we vote on the skate park?
Okay, well, I'll just say, I've been a rec club member since 1975, and I support that club through and through and donate a lot of stuff. And I just can't just give myself to vote for this tonight because I'm not sure you're gonna be there much longer. I don't know how much longer. I mean, you're in a, we're still kept putting lipstick on a pig, that hub there, the club is not going to put any more money into it because when it's gone, it's gone. They're going to do something different. And I'd rather put $140,000 into a building that you can have a good building to have the activities in, and not to, you're going to be in a beautiful skate park in a building that's almost falling down around you. So that's, I mean, you guys have done some, a lot of putty and patch over there for years, and I'd rather see money spent in a better building than a skate
Yeah, but
park.
140,000 ain't gonna get you.
They ain't gonna get you anywhere
Yeah, it wouldn't even be.
I understand you, Porter. Yeah.
What'd you say?
This is what the community asked for in the ARPA funds.
Right. So shall we vote?
Yes.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Those opposed?
Anyone opposed?
Nay.
Thanks. And on to the PA system. Zach, can you talk to us about that, please?
Yeah. Hi. I want to start off just by saying that I'm not an expert at all at PA systems, so I'm sure it'll come across in this little presentation I made.
And we all are experts on PA systems.
That's what a select board means, selecting PA systems. So
is this a system that the 4th of July committee was looking for the park and that?
Yes.
I believe
was
so,
gonna say
yes.
that was my impression, that they would be using it for that, yeah, okay.
Yeah. And I was hoping our sound guy Sean could help us out, but sounds like he has some technological stuff that he'd have to juggle to make it work. So
He should at least be able to guide you.
yeah, definitely. So I put together a little presentation. I don't know how to share it at all, but maybe Val can help us out.
You just want to use the PDF?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Val, do you have that? Or you want me to do that?
Zach,
Why don't you take it? Why don't you go for
Zach,
it, Ian?
You want me to bust your bubble and I'll make a motion that we approve $4,000 for a PA system? Couldn't agree. If you've ever been down to the 4th of July parade and listened to the outhouse races and announcing the floats and stuff go by, yes, it's needed, well needed.
Okay. I'll second that motion.
If you want to do your
Yeah.
No, I think that's
my
fine.
only question is who's gonna be using it? 4th of July committee.
Well,
I
I
mean,
think the rec
club,
the rec department is gonna own it.
Right.
Correct.
So,
Well, I was just thinking, like, people who rent Holly Hall, are they gonna have access to
There's
it?
a system already in Holly Hall.
Okay, so wouldn't need to use this. This is gonna be outside.
This is like,
Pretty
from
much
what I
outside.
understand, this is a much more powerful system.
why don't we let him do his presentation, and then we'll know.
We thought this was gonna be a quick meeting tonight,
Right.
after 10,
Yeah, I
we
know.
still got executive session and stuff.
I mean, I
We'll
think
be making
there.
executive decisions at 11:30 at night, and it's not the time to make them.
I mean, I'm also fine just to have that motion. I mean, there are 3 different options, and I think it's it's still being researched.
Okay.
In terms of having Sean look at it, having a couple other members of the public look at it who are familiar with these types of systems. So I don't know, Zach, are you anxious to do the presentation? given that, okay, so my recommendation, just because I think they're still moving on and working on that, would be to just go ahead and vote on this if the other board members are okay with that. Just because in the looking at the time.
So we could do a motion to up to $4,000. If they don't spend $4,000,
Yeah.
great. You know, that
Exactly.
can go to somebody else.
Joel?
I make a motion spend up to $4,000 for a new PA system for the rec department.
Second.
Okay. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Awesome presentation, Zach.
You did great, Zach.
Sometimes less is more, Zach. Sometimes less is more.
Way to go.
Great.
All right, that's everything.
Taylor, you did a wonderful job. Really
right.
did on that.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you, Taylor.
Thanks for all of that, and I'm glad I didn't skip you. So now we're moving on to number 5. Review and approval of the May 8 and May 22 and May 24, 2023 meeting minutes.
I haven't had a chance to look at them, so.
I looked at 2 of them and didn't have any.
I would say let's put it off till next month.
The only thing I had was on page 2, halfway down. 1, considered bid for contractor for Barney Cemetery, the next to last sentence. To hat the cemetery, or is that to tap the cemetery fund? Or is that supposed to say that cemetery fund?
Maybe that.
That the cemetery reserve maintenance funds. I don't know what 2's there for. Did you see that, Valerie?
I don't have it in front of me right now.
All right, item number 6, authorize accounts payable warrant and any liquor or tobacco licenses.
You have the warrant down there, Joel. You wanna give the number?
Oh, sure.
And I can't remember what she had.
I
She had
think
like
Peter was
3.
one-
Did she have 3?
At least 3.
There's one under there, Peter, I think.
Yeah, I got it.
2 million something?
A lot.
$2,649,885.60.
We're getting our select board's paid tonight, tell
Yeah.
That's the Union School bill. It's in here. Union Mount Abraham District bills in there, $2.5 million. We don't spend that kind of money for every 2 weeks, thank God.
So I had a quick question about this. So obviously Pocock Rocks is coming up. It's on this Saturday. We have a couple stragglers for the special event permit because we're trying to get people to respond and it's quite difficult. I wanted to ask, I couldn't remember if the select board officially needs to do the approval for special events or if Sharon could just do that on her own. I know that usually goes through us and she asks for a motion. But my ask would be that would it be okay if Sharon approved these if a couple came in later on this week?
In a previous conversation, we had agreed to authorize Sharon to approve those. And then
That's what I
just kind
thought.
of inform the select board later on.
Okay.
I mean, she could also just send an email around saying, I've got these and does
Yeah.
anybody have a problem with them?
Yeah. It would just be it's just for Pocock. I think
Right.
everything else is coming for the farmer's market. Obviously that's a weekly thing, but yeah, we just unfortunately had a couple of stragglers, so.
There should be one for the Grand Bondo through.
Yes, there was one for Grand.
Yeah. There was.
Yeah, I saw that in there.
Yep.
Okay, well, that's good. That's good to know.
That's why he's been sitting here waiting this long.
Do you want to do a presentation too, Todd?
I'm here just to answer questions if you see that it's done.
No, she did email and say that
I think you
there was
answered
one
your
for that.
question when you wanted to alter it just there, I think that was fine.
Yeah. So am I.
Are these riveting meetings?
You're good.
Plain riveting, aren't they?
Thank you.
See you later.
Yes, what did she say? Special events for Eden Ice Cider Company, Shelburne Vineyard, St. Johnsbury Distillery, and Appalachian Gap Distillery for Pocock, and then White Mountain Distillery for Grand Bondo.
And she does like to have a motion from us when possible, so.
I make a motion
Where are they
to
gonna
approve
put
the
their
special
sewage?
event permits that I just listed.
Michelle, where are they gonna put the
Second.
sewage? Second?
Where are they gonna put the what?
Sewage. Not in our
Any
system.
other discussion, except for Joel's? Except for Joel's. All right, let's vote on that.
Aye.
All those in favor, thank you. Anyone opposed? Alrighty, thank you very much. We
Can
are,
we skip the round table?
Can we skip the round table? I just wanted to say thanks to Lisa Powell for making that beautiful cake.
Yes.
And donating it.
Yes, thank you, Lisa. It was very good.
It was very good.
I have 2 things.
Okay.
Okay.
What are you fuffing about?
It's freaking 10:30.
You told me we weren't gonna be here 4 hours tonight.
It's
Late
10:19.
agenda.
I have 2 things.
I have to be up at 5 o'clock tomorrow, so.
I know. They're gonna be quick. When we did our little last Thursday, we did a little entertaining for some state officials regarding our buildings and possible funding to make improvements to the library here. One of the things we looked at was the town boiler room. I would like to have a company, whoever services our stuff, come in and clean that and service the things. The boiler in there needs to be serviced. The HRV, which is the air handling system, needs to be probably cleaned out and changed. And also there's black soot over everything in the entire room. So it's been cleaned a little bit, but I think something backed up and then came out of the little flappy vent, and there's just soot covering everywhere. So I really think we should get that looked at before something happens.
So your flappy vent.
Your flappy. Go look at those flappy vents. Well, it was it was hilarious because we're like, here's the boiler room, and the 2 officials are there from Buildings and Grounds, and we're like, oh, sorry that everything's covered in soot. And they were like, all right. So I think we should have that looked at. Just make sure that nothing happens. And then was this related with Pocock? Chris Purley emailed myself and Alicia regarding, he had a couple people ask about the Pocock signs that are attached to the welcome signs of Bristol. Mm-hmm. And he was asking that we get permission to do that. And I said, we already had permission, but that I would confirm at the select board meeting that we do have that permission. And we've done it for the past number of years. I think I had those signs made 5 years ago. It's always been part of the asking permission for the event, with the understanding that we'd also put up those 3 signs. And I just wanted to confirm that.
I don't remember getting permission for that. I thought the last time you guys put them up, we said you can't put them up there because it's town property. And if we let Pocock put it up, then we'd have to let anybody else who wanted to come in and do something, put signs up on there. But that was before COVID, because you haven't had it in the last 2 years.
Yeah, I thought we gave permission.
For that 1 year.
Well, we gave permission to have Pocock on that date and close the street from that time to that time. I don't ever remember the signs being mentioned.
Part of that.
And if it's an oversight, it's an oversight. I don't see. They are town property, and this is not a town-sponsored event, but it is kind of sponsored by the town, because we just gave some money for it.
Bristol Core is a
town part of the entity, so.
Right. I mean, I've put them up. I think I had those signs made 4 years ago, so we put them up 4 times. This might be the 4th time. I can't remember.
Well, yeah,
I've never had
this is the first time you've had it in 3 years, so.
Correct.
You might have put
That's
them up
right.
the first year and then the 4th year, but not.
Yeah, I mean, I think we had a conversation.
I've put them up I've put them up like 4 times. But I thought the last time we talked about it was as part of the Pocock agreement. I don't mind. I could not put them up there. It is a useful thing to have them there, just because I had them made and they were designed for those locations, just because it's nice. And I usually put them up a week before. Mm-hmm. But if the board has issues with that, I can not put them up and make sure that's the understanding for the next time we host the event.
My only concern is if you put them up there, the request from other people to put stuff on our town signs.
Yeah, that's true.
Welcome signs. That's really the only reason that I have a concern with it.
Okay.
Right, but if it was a town.
That's not
entity.
technically a town function.
No, but the group that's sponsoring it is a town entity.
Well, no, it's not. Core. I mean, you could say the same about 4th of July. 4th of July is a nonprofit that hosts 4th of July. It's not a town entity. Core is also not a town entity, but it is. It is designed to supplement the town, or however you want to put it. So, but they're closely tied. But you're right. If we put them up, 4th of July could, and other entities could ask about that. You're absolutely right. And they are town signs, but they're on private property. So If it's easier to not put them up, I would totally understand, and I'll just make a note in our logistics document and make sure that it doesn't happen next time we host that.
I think it would probably be best not to.
Yeah, I see both sides. I mean, Michelle's got a point. What if St. Ambrose in August puts their barbecue on the park sign up, and then the Lions puts theirs up, barbecue in June sign up, and where does it stop? Yeah.
Okay,
I
sure,
mean, the
absolutely.
school asked to put a banner across for the graduates, we approved it, you know, and so. But
Okay.
no, no.
Are you okay with them staying up until the event? Or
Yes,
would you
this year, yeah.
Okay, and then we won't put
Is
them
there
on
gonna
next
be
year.
is there gonna be a message board at the top of the hill that says Main Street's closed or
There
just?
already is. There's one here.
There's two orange signs that say the
We
road's
put them out
closed.
on Sunday.
The big orange triangle signs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I didn't know if you were, I know one year you got them from some.
Yeah, ECI was working in town and
So they allowed them to use that
to
sign,
use them.
yeah.
Yeah, no, we're all set with that. Okay, I'll make a note for next year for that. All right, that's all I had. Thanks very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Anybody else have anything real quick?
Just real quick, just wanna condole, probably most of you heard that longtime former principal of Mount Abraham, or
Yes.
Bristol Elementary, Terry Everett's passed away last
That was sad.
last week,
Mhm.
last
He's a
Wednesday,
nice man.
Wednesday.
Yeah, I just saw it the other day.
And
I
just
noticed.
wishing the family, and I know, talking from Tim, there's going to be a celebration of life sometime in September.
Nice.
So
Nice.
look for that.
Good.
Thanks.
That's all I had.
Okay. Town administrators report.
The only thing I want to add to my written report is an update on the grant writer position. We've received a remarkable response, more than I expected, not only from across the country due to the Indeed posting, Indeed.com, but a good response from the 7 Days ad and possibly the Addison Independent ad. I've reached out to a number of the candidates, and I'm going to try to start arranging interviews this week, either probably Wednesday or Thursday. Anthony and Sharon expressed interest in being involved in those interviews, so I want to be able to coordinate with their availability. And I'm still expecting at least one letter or resume to come on in. So the response from Vermont candidates has been very encouraging, and the non-Vermont residents are typically consultants who do this as part of their business, and so they're just kind of reaching out to Bristol as another client, which is not part of the plan.
So are the Vermont ones that you've seen, that they qualified? I mean, sometimes we just throw things out, so.
Most of them, yes. But it's still worthwhile to check in with the ones that might not be completely qualified, but trainable, learnable.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Great. Okay, great.
So that's my.
Okay, so do I have to make a motion to go into
No, we
executive
just
session? or
returned to
just
executive
continuing?
session, I think.
We should go back in with a motion.
I make a motion that we enter into executive session per 1 VSA section 313 to discuss personnel or just real estate contract?
Might as well throw it all in.
Okay, personnel matters and potential real estate negotiations, and am I inviting Eric in?
If he's still there. Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
You're waking him up, Eric, wake up.
No.
Yay. Okay. Thanks, Jill.